we initiate chaos. Theory guarantees that we'll play like lightning shots, sounding like thunder. For every time in the face that it hits us, we're faster. Well, they should know by now. They see the world keeps trying to shake us. It only waits us. The pendulum swings. The pendulum swings. It's in a beautiful darkness. Only another. It's full steam ahead. Full steam ahead. All above the Betty Express. Misdirected from the start. It's a runaway train. I come a freight train. I come a freight train. In a beautiful darkness, the Betty Express. In a beautiful darkness.
Good morning, everyone. It looks like it's going to storm here again in Indiana. I mean, at this point, Lori may be right about a couple things. I may need an arc. And oh no, that's terrible, Northwest. I'll have to look into that. Good morning, Squid Pro Quo and Denise and Alice G, Northwest. Good morning, and I will have to look into that. I hope he is okay and getting the, medical attention that he needs. Good morning, Mike. Let's get back into this. So this is going to be longer testimony. It seems like while he made this particular detective wasn't initially kind of the case agent in charge, he did become, and okie dokie, I will look at that. Oh, meningitis, that's no fun and scary. So hopefully they can get that taken care of because that is really scary. But he seems like one of the detectives who kind of did take over more functions in this particular investigation. And it does seem, again, I realize that trials are like this, that you sort of get the overall kind of how all the puzzle pieces lay towards the end with the lead investigator or detective or however they name it. But it is now starting to come into focus with the, yesterday we learned about, Charles discovering the email where, Chad was going to come down and co-author or ghostwrite his book for him. So that being 2 weeks prior to him dying, Charles. So it does start to make more of a sense, things are starting to fall together as to why they finally discovered that this was, a bit hinky. So that being said, let's get into this and make sure that we've got all the, sound bits going so we can hear, and let's get into this.
Do you know who was in possession of Charles Vallow's phone at 12:13 p.m. on July 11th of 2019?
Lori.
How do you know that?
She told us, and she turned the phone back over to us later that afternoon.
Did you ever find any other evidence that Lori Vallow and Alex Cox went through Charles Vallow's phone on July 11th of 2019?
Yes.
What we had already heard through Detective Werther, that search warrant was executed on Alex Cox's Verizon cell phone, 480-351-9120. And were you familiar with those records?
I am.
As part of the records that Verizon sent, and this is Exhibit 222 that has previously been admitted, did Verizon provide subscriber information?
Yes.
And that came back to Alex Cox?
Correct.
Did Verizon provide phone calls?
Yes.
Cell phone data?
Yes.
Cell tower data?
Yes.
And did they also provide some images that were saved by Verizon associated with this phone number for Alex Cox?
They did.
Is that something that is with every carrier?
No, it's hit or miss as to whether you get them or not. Some carriers save them for longer, some save for shorter periods of time. Some don't save them at all.
Did the images themselves have any type of time date stamp on them?
The image of them itself, it's an image of a phone with a time in the corner of the phone.
Okay. So I'm going to put up some of these images that were from this. So many of us talk about a screenshot, right? Is this a screenshot?
No.
Why not? How do we know it's not?
Because obviously in this case, you can actually see the entire phone, and you also have...
Wait, they didn't airdrop from a different or from an Apple phone, since it looks like they all had Apple phones since Charles was paying for their phone plans. I mean, I am technically special needs. Like I understand nothing about cell phones, but I do know more. I do know you can airdrop or take a screenshot and not have to take a picture of the entire daggone phone. I've never thought that I'd feel vindicated that I know something technical, but oh my gosh.
A counter in the background.
So in this image that Verizon sent, it's showing an actual phone. Have you seen Charles Vallow's phone?
Yes.
Did it look like the same shape as his phone?
Yes.
We see a time of 2:13 p.m., correct?
Correct.
When you were going through Charles Vallow's phone itself and the extraction, did you see this message between Charles Vallow and Adam Cox?
I did.
Did, in fact, Charles place the flight or book a flight for Adam Cox to come to Phoenix?
He did.
Was there another image showing a closer up of the portion of that call with the flight information for Adam Cox?
Yes.
They didn't even click on the link?
And did it also include a screenshot where Adam talks about going to see Lori at her house and having a talk with her and keeping his phone on record?
Yes.
And were these all messages, text messages between Adam and Charles that you found on the extraction report?
They are.
And these are images that were saved by Verizon associated to Alex Cox's phone?
Yes.
So the Chandler Police Department had Charles's phone back in their possession by 3 or so in the afternoon of July 11th, correct?
Yes.
And it's been in Chandler Police Department's possession?
It has.
And yet the Verizon records for Alex Cox show photographs of Charles's phone and those conversations between Charles and Adam.
Yes.
Now, did you learn in this investigation whether or not Lori Vallow knew the PIN to enter Charles's phone?
I did.
And did she in fact provide that to Detective Inclan so that it was easy to get into Charles's phone?
Yes.
So on July 11th, Lori Vallow has Charles Vallow's phone and she knows the PIN number to access it.
Yes.
And it's in her possession.
Correct.
Good morning.
Did you ever find evidence that Alex Cox sent those photos of Charles Vallow's phone showing Adam's flight reservations to Lori Vallow on July 13th of 2019?
I did.
Again, we're talking about those iCloud accounts. Did you find that when you were reviewing the lollytime@icloud.com account information?
Yes.
Again, the lolly nickname. Ew.
I can have my paralegal approach with 231. I apologize. I should have also given you 226 as well. That's the affidavit for the lollytime@icloud.com account information.
I do.
When you were investigating this case and you obtained a search warrant for the lollytime@icloud account, how did you authenticate or know that those records were related to Lori Vallow?
So first and foremost, the account lists her phone number in the 956, ending in 9562, associating that number with the account. Secondly, you can go through the content of the account and you see contacts familiar to Lori. You see text messages where she's texting and people are calling her by her name of Lori. You also have photographs and videos on the account that could all associate that account.
They didn't expect the police to look into this. I mean, they must not have. To not have covered their tracks any better than this, they must have just assumed that the police were going to take their word for it and not look any deeper than what they said, because they did. I mean, Chandler Holderson did a better job covering his tracks, and he did an awful job. Wow.
to Lori.
Did that Lolly Time at iCloud account even include photographs of Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell's wedding?
I did.
Your Honor, the state will move to admit Exhibit 226, which is the affidavit, as well as Exhibit 231, the photographs.
Any objection?
Relevant, Your Honor.
All right. Give me the numbers again. 226, 231.
And thank you, Spinster. Apparently, Lolly is a reference to Lorelei, who is a sister older than Lori, who passed away in infancy. Okay, well that that makes a little bit of sense because couldn't understand where Lolly would come up. I was hoping, like, crossing everything I have, that it wasn't for Lolita, like lifestyle or kink, but that makes much more sense and isn't kinky, which is helpful to me because I have an active imagination and I need to imagine. Well, look, she already wears the baby ponytail. I don't need to imagine her in Lolita wear.
226 and 231,
226, 231 are admitted.
and if I may publish.
Go ahead.
So when we're talking about the iCloud account, are you able to kind of go through this extraction, what is provided to you by Apple, and look for things separated in terms of like emails or text messages or photographs?
Yes.
And then are you also able to then determine both sources and timestamps for some of those things?
You are, yes.
So looking at this report from the Apple iCloud account, do we see the Lolly Time at iCloud as a source?
Yes.
And then we see a timestamp over here of 7:13 at 5:57 p.m.
Correct.
And then this, does that mean that's converted for Arizona time?
The UTC -7 mean it is Arizona time, yes.
Okay. And then we see from Alex Cox, the 9120 number, the one that we were talking about just recently, correct? So in this report, we see that there's 3 photographs that were sent.
Thumbnails of those, yes.
And then were those photographs also obtained or saved in the iCloud account?
Yes, they were.
And so again, showing those, were these the same 3 photographs that you had found in Alex Cox's Verizon records?
They are.
And looking at this, what day was Adam returning?
It was Sunday, July 14th.
So this message, this text message and photographs was sent on the 13th prior to Adam returning.
Yes.
Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about that timeline and what you understood when we start including all this information in. Based upon your investigation, did you learn that Charles Vallow's phone left the area of 5531 South Four Peaks Place around 7:49 a.m. on July 11th?
Yes, I did.
So what we see is it's around the time that Adam sent that last text message.
Correct.
Based upon the GPS data from Charles Vallow's cell phone, when she left with Charles's phone around 7:49 a.m., and the 911 call being received at 8:36 a.m., how much time lapsed?
17 minutes? The time?
From 7:49
49?
just 8:36, was that
Oh,
46?
47 minutes?
So
I was like, hey, I'm not a mathologist, but I know that isn't mathed right. The second one makes more sense, but I was like, 17? No, that is really wrong, even for someone who can't do math to save her life.
if we have heard testimony from Dr. Baumgartner that Charles Vallow, when he was shot in the heart, would have taken up to a couple minutes to die after he was shot in the heart, and Lori Vallow has told Detective Inclan that she left right after Charles was shot, would that mean that Charles Vallow just lay dead on the floor for 45 minutes before Alex Cox called 911 at best?
Yes.
When you were looking,
And I think if you strip down all of the, Lori Vallow, Chad Dorkbell craziness, that is the part that no reasonable person is going to understand. Branca and Runkle have made a point to state that when you have a self-defense case, you really have to be, kind of your actions, your reactions, whatever you did on that day, have to kind of be beyond question what a reasonable person would do. And you're going to have a very hard time getting anyone to buy that you waited, 46, 47 minutes to call 911 after a self-defense shooting, taking your kids to go get things and, to school. It's not going to sell. It's not going to make sense. And I think probably that first little bit of information, the time discrepancy between the actual, shooting and 911 call was probably the first thing that tipped them off that, among many things, something was very off in this particular story.
Looking at those Verizon cell phone records for Alex Cox, Exhibit 222. Did you look at when and to whom Alex Cox called?
I did, yes.
Now, when you are looking at cell phone records, do they often include sort of dates and times of phone numbers, phone calls, durations, and those sorts of things?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to use the back of one of these here. So when we start looking at July 11th, is the first call that we see on Alex Cox's phone him making an outgoing call?
Yes.
And do we see who he calls?
Lori.
So this 480-692-9562 number is one of the phone numbers that you have obtained a search warrant for that was subscribed to Lori Vallow.
Correct.
And when did that occur?
7:52 a.m.
So Lori Vallow leaves the house at 7:49 with Charles's phone, and 3 minutes later, Alex calls her.
Yes.
And did that last for
Under a minute, I believe.
under a minute? 49 seconds.
Yes.
Did you look at the next call that Adam Cox made on July
Enough to
11th?
say,
I did.
Was that what we see here at 8:06 a.m.?
Yes, set for the UTC -7 is 8:06 a.m., and that lasted for 55 seconds.
Who was that to?
Also placed to Lori.
So
is she meaning Alex and saying Adam? Because she used Adam, and I thought Adam was trying to connect with Alex.
if Lori Vallow left the house at 7:49 with Charles Vallow's phone, how much time has lapsed when Alex calls her the second time? I know
She
it's math.
did.
Is it about 17 minutes?
All right, 17 minutes.
She did say Adam, but I think she meant Alex. But yeah,
Yeah.
Okay. And actually, I think so at this point, has Alex called 911 yet at 8:06 a.m.?
At 8:06, he has not, no.
So at 8:06, Alex Cox calls Lori a second time, and Charles Vallow has now been laying on the floor for at least 17 minutes.
Correct.
Understanding that the 911 call isn't made till 8:36, Alex Cox waits another 30 minutes before he calls 911?
Yes.
he
Did
was
Lori Vallow ever
busy.
call 911?
No.
Neither of her calls, neither of her phones,
None.
not on Charles's phone.
No.
And do we in fact see the 911 call that was made by Alex Cox on these records?
Yes.
And it shows it as, these ones have not been converted, right?
Yeah, it's not converted, but the time converting that to the -7 would be 8:35:54 seconds.
So when we see the 911 call, that's the connection time with the dispatch was 8:36, basically.
Yes.
So we knew from Charles Vallow's phone and from body cam that Lori Vallow returns to 5531 South Four Peaks at about 8:48 a.m., correct?
Yes.
As you are looking through these phone records, are you looking to also identify whether or not what people are saying matches what we'll call the digital, the unchangeable evidence?
Yeah.
So you were present when Adam Cox testified, correct?
Correct.
And do you recall him testifying that he called his brother Alex on July 9th to see if he could stay with him?
Yes,
Did you look to see if Alex Cox's records showed if Adam called him?
I did.
So if we looked at Exhibit 222, those Verizon records for Adam Cox, would we see on July 9th at 13:21 hours that Adam called Alex?
Correct.
Did that call last over 20 minutes?
It did.
Did you also hear Adam testify that he tried to reach Alex when he got to Phoenix on July 10th?
Yes.
And again, if we looked at Exhibit 222, Alex Cox's Verizon records, did you see any attempts by Adam to reach his brother Alex?
I did.
Did you see a call on July 10th at 3:22 p.m.?
Yes.
Did that not connect? There was no conversation time.
Correct.
Did you see a text message from Adam to Alex on Alex's records, Exhibit 222, at 3:23 p.m. on July 10th?
Yes.
Now, these records did not have the context of that, correct?
Correct.
But you can see that Adam sent a text message to his brother Alex.
Yes.
Did you see Alex ever call or text back his brother Adam?
Never.
Did you see another text from
I do like, again, this is something that we haven't seen for a while or something that we should see in all investigations, corroborating what a witness tells them with, the evidence, the digital evidence or digital footprint, making sure, because the jury might rightfully be thinking, well, this entire family is sus. So making sure to show that her witness, that Adam was being truthful and honest with everything that their investigation, uncovered, also does a good thing to prove that, yes, if you are going to trust, someone that we've brought up, everything he said was backed up by the digital footprint that he left and different things that we could corroborate. So I do like that, again, she's taking the time to show how this investigation grew, how you took the witnesses' statements and then married them up to evidence that you can check or verify.
Adam to his brother Alex in Exhibit 222 at 6:28 p.m.?
Yes.
Did you see a response back from Alex to Adam?
I did not.
We also heard Adam testify, and we saw in those text messages that between Adam and Charles on July 11th, that Adam said he was going to reach out to Alex and see what he did, right?
Right.
Did you look at Exhibit 222, these Verizon records, to see whether or not Adam, in fact, had reached out to Alex?
Yeah.
And does Exhibit 222 show that at 7:40 a.m. on July 11th of 2019, that Adam, in fact, texted his brother Alex?
Yes.
Did you see a response from Alex to Adam?
I did not.
So did Alex's cell phone records, Exhibit 222, sort of confirm or match what Adam was saying about trying to reach his brother?
They did.
When you were going through the extraction of Charles Vallow's cell phone, did you ever find a copy of a lease agreement for 5531 South Four Peaks?
I did.
Is that a lease agreement for 5531 South Four Peaks Place in Chandler that you found in that extraction of Charles Vallow's phone?
It is.
If I could have that back.
And just the indignity that Charles had to pay for
Statement
the
moved to admit
house.
Exhibit 212.
Any objection?
It doesn't look like the complete amount, but okay. No objection.
Objection. 212 is admitted.
So did this sort of photo of a document that you found on Charles's phone show the lease date?
It did.
And when was that?
June 22nd, 2019 to end on June 30th of 2022.
So a 3-year lease.
Correct.
Based upon your investigation, speaking with people as well as just going through Charles Vallow's iCloud account, his cell phone, where was Charles Vallow living in June and July of 2019?
In Houston.
Did you, in fact, find evidence that Charles Vallow had flown to Phoenix on July 10th of 2019?
Yes.
So we had talked a little earlier that in addition to the Lolly Time account, that there was a Lori for Style iCloud account, correct?
Yes.
That iCloud account as being associated with Lori Vallow.
Very similar to the Lolly Time account. The phone number ending in 9562 is listed as the subscriber phone number. Also, the content of the phone, looking at photographs, videos, and communication with others. That is also the Lori for Style iCloud is a address that she actually gave to Banner Insurance as well.
Do we see in the Lori for Style two different phone numbers, both the 808-755-5452 and the 480-692-9562 number assigned to that subscriber?
You do.
If I can have my paralegal approach with 224 and 225. And do you recognize 224 as the affidavit from the iCloud records authenticating them?
Yes.
And is 225 some of the SMS or text messages that were saved in the Lori for Style at iCloud.com records?
Yes, they are.
State will move to admit 224 through 225. Oh, 224 and 225, sorry.
224 and 225 are admitted.
When you were going through the Lori for Style iCloud account records, did you ever find any recordings in that iCloud account related to Chad Daybell?
I did.
Did you find a recording from November 7th?
Ew, a Lori and Chad mixtape of their love. Oh my God. If Olivia Newton-John isn't on one of those songs, their little mixtape like My Endless Love or I Honestly Love You, but recordings of Chad,
15th of 2018 of Chad Daybell in Arizona.
Yes, it was him speaking at a Preparing of People event.
And have we heard testimony from witnesses who attended a Preparing the People conference here in November of 2018?
Yes.
In the Lori for Style at iCloud account, did you find text message or SMS messages saved between Lori Vallow and her brother Alex Cox?
Yes.
When you were looking through
Lori, Alex, could you have saved any more damn evidence? I mean, I'm surprised you didn't go Joel Guy Jr., the book of premeditation. I mean, damn, was there any evidence you didn't archive, screenshot, and or take an actual damn photograph with with a different cell phone? I mean, was there any evidence you discarded?
these records, had you become aware of the name Ned?
Yes.
What was the relevance of that name in your investigation?
Through this investigation, we had learned that Ned was the name of a dark spirit that had taken over Charles' body. And so in knowing this, I went through these records looking for a mention of Ned and to the reference and how it was used.
And was this, when we talk about the dark spirit, is this something that through your investigation, as we've heard in court, was a name that Lori had associated or given to Charles Vallow?
Yes.
In Exhibit 225, are these messages?
I still contend Ned is a really dumb demonic name. I still contend that Ned is the dumbest demonic name. I mean, we even have like it. We have Pennywise. And still, Ned Snyder.
Messages in the Lori for Style
Demonic actuary.
iCloud account between Lori Vallow and her brother Alex Cox, where they're talking about Ned.
Yes, they are.
was the first time that you found that reference to Ned from February 15th of 2019 from Alex Cox to Lori Vallow?
Yes, it is.
And is that where we see Alex saying that Ned was at the temple yesterday looking for you? He thinks you are staying with me.
Correct.
And so again, we see the source is the Lori for Style, correct?
Yes.
And we see two, this is Lori Vallow's iCloud account, correct? And that's the number that we have associated with her with T-Mobile?
Yes.
And then Alex Cox's Verizon record.
Correct.
During your investigation on February 15th of 2019, is this the time period where Lori Vallow had disappeared and was no longer in contact with Charles Vallow?
Yes.
Is this the time period where Charles had JJ by himself?
Yes.
And do we see then Lori Vallow saying, that's good that he is so off, I guess?
Yes.
The next time we see the reference to Ned is that in March 2nd of 2019, again from Alex Cox to Lori Vallow?
Yes.
And does he advise, Ned just came by and Tylee unleashed on him. He came to my house and he went to Summers first. He ran up in a rental car.
Correct.
So again, your understanding is from this investigation, from testimony at court, that Ned was Charles.
Yes.
Now, again, we talk about, there was a time period when Lori is, both we've heard in Hawaii and in Idaho, correct?
Correct.
Do we also see Alex trying to get Lori Vallow's new address?
Yes.
And she gives him a lollytimeforever@gmail.com, correct?
Correct.
So that's another address that she had.
Yes.
Now, we heard, again, Ned being associated to Charles. Do we have a text message on March 26th of 2019 from Alex to Lori saying, Ned is still alive, just confirmed?
Correct.
This next message is that from Lori Vallow to Alex.
Yes.
And it says, it's not Ned, right?
Correct.
So it's not even a he, it's. And then we have another message, it's a new one, Ned is gone.
Correct.
So is this around the time where we've heard?
Wait a minute. So who's our new, demonic actuary insurance adjuster of evil? Is it Theodore Stavros? I don't know, Eunice, something or other. Now he's not being, tortured by Ned. Now it's Carl.
Of that girls' weekend,
Yes.
where they were trying to cast out the evil spirit in Charles.
Correct.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. This woman is cuckoo for Cuckoo Puffs.
As you continued in this Lori for Style, do we see again Lori texting Alex saying, no one has seen him, right? Just talk to him.
Correct.
And then Alex says, correct, Charles' body is alive, right?
Yes.
So in your investigation and through the testimony here at trial, have you heard people indicate that Charles's body was possessed by an evil spirit?
I have.
And they're trying to cast out this evil spirit?
Yes.
So here we see that it's not Charles is alive, it's Charles's body's alive.
Correct.
Does Alex then respond to Lori, what did you learn?
Yes.
That one's from Alex to Lori.
Correct.
And then does she respond, a lot, still working on it, we'll call you later.
That's correct.
What, did she have her demonic azimuth out? Was she, doing her little soothsaying with chicken bones? Okay, let's continue, Lori. I'm sure this will make sense.
Went through a lot of these records. Did you see a lot of reference to telling people to call her?
Yes.
Obviously, we don't have those recordings, right?
Correct.
And so would you often see calls then in the phone records to match up with a request to call?
Yes.
Going back to the Lollytime iCloud account, was that account created on July 1st of 2019?
It was.
Was that created after Charles Vallow contacted Lori and Chad Daybell and Tammy Daybell about the affair?
It was.
When you were going through those Lolly Time at iCloud account records. Did you find evidence or find photographs in the Lolly Time at iCloud account showing the change in Charles's beneficiary form for his life insurance?
I did.
Did you see both a photograph of a computer as well as of documents?
Yes.
They did more photographing, again, I feel like I should do a little bit of a happy dance because I in fact know how I can send myself an email of something on a computer to my phone rather than taking out a picture and photographing it with my phone. And it's so rare that I ever feel technically superior to anyone. And by that I mean with any technical skills. So holy crap, I feel better than Lori, which shouldn't be a stretch, but hey, anything that makes you smile on a Sunday.
Show defense 232.
Go ahead.
Do you recognize both the report and the photos that were obtained or part of the records for the Lolly Time at iCloud.com account that was obtained through a search warrant by the police department?
Yes.
State would move to admit Exhibit 232.
Any objection?
No objection.
232 is admitted.
And if I may publish. So again, when you are going through these iCloud accounts, just like with the cell phone extractions, are you able to sort of pull out reports and save the documents themselves, both in the report and then print off those documents?
Yes.
So looking at this Exhibit 232, do we see both it's from the Lolly Time at iCloud account, right?
Correct.
And then we see that on July 28th, that these photographs were sent to a phone number 515-402-0143 with a contact name of Bubby.
I do.
Now let's first go through these records and we'll talk
Bubby?
about the phone number, okay?
Okay.
So what we see here are sort of the thumbnails. Are these the actual photographs associated or sent in each of these messages?
Yes, they are.
So we see these are NMS messages, meaning there's a photo associated with it.
Yes.
So one of the photos associated with it was this Banner Life Insurance, oops, I'm sorry, we're too close. Banner Life Insurance policy for Charles Vallow, correct?
Correct.
Showing Lori Vallow as the primary beneficiary?
Yes.
Ew, Lori, what the hell is wrong with you? You've got your boyfriend brother and then you call your side piece Bubby? Ugh.
And then there was a photograph of the document showing, again, $1 million policy,
Yes.
started in 2015, and the owner insured are Charles Vallow.
Yes.
Then was there a photo of a computer screen?
There is.
And were you able to tell, because you see sort of the icons that you would see at the bottom of the computer screen in this,
Correct.
and a little bit of a glare on it? And is this the designation form that was changed by Charles Vallow that we had talked about previously in court?
Yes.
And so this is a photograph of the computer showing that Charles Vallow, in fact, changed this to Ethel K. Woodcock.
That is correct.
So on July 28th, Lori Vallow is sending copies of this to someone she calls Bubby.
Yes.
Now, did you guys want to find out who Bubby was?
Absolutely.
Did you actually obtain a
No.
search warrant to get those phone records from AT&T for 515-402-0143?
Yes, I did.
I can have my paralegal approach with Exhibit 223. AT&T authenticating those records for the 515 number,
Yes.
a thumb drive that contains all of the records that were sent,
Yes.
as well as some of the subscriber information and records.
Yes.
Now, obviously, contact names are just contact names. Were you able to determine who this number was associated with?
Yes.
How?
Once again, looking through the content of the messages that we saw, you have either photographs sending back and forth or just written content. This person was found to be Chad Daybell. In addition to that, we received an audio recording from a local business in which Chad contacted this business and listed this as his phone number.
So this 515 number, there's a recording of Chad Daybell using this phone number to contact a business.
Yes.
And then the context of the messages that you see in this iCloud account with the contact Bubby confirmed that this was in fact Chad Daybell.
Yes.
State will move to admit Exhibit 223.
Any objection?
No objection.
223 is admitted.
So on July 28th of 2019, Lori Vallow is sending photographs of the life insurance policy, original and the change, to Chad Daybell.
Yes.
Not sus at all.
As you were going
Lori,
through
you're doing great.
this iCloud account, the Lolly Time, did you go through many, many, many text messages?
Yes, I did.
Did you note text messages between Lori Vallow and her brother Alex Cox that were saved in that Lolly Time account?
Yes.
As you were going through those text messages, did you note Lori Vallow giving her brother the new address of 5531 South Four Peaks Place?
I did.
Did you see the messages leading up to July 11th? For instance, one on July 9th talking about being like Nephi?
I did.
Did you see text messages between them even out to August 12th where Lori Vallow talks about going to Social Security?
Yes.
And in these text messages, as you looked at these two conversing, did you see text messages talking about other people being Z's, just the letter, because of their association with Charles?
Yes.
I'm going to show Defense Exhibit 227. Now, these messages in this iCloud account that are in this report, are these all of the messages that they had?
No,
Are these just a portion of them?
they are.
Can I have my paralegal approach with 227?
Go ahead.
SMS messages between Lori Vallow and Alex Cox that were saved on the Lolly Time at iCloud account that we've discussed there. Sort of
Yes, they
leading
are.
up to and right after July 11th.
Yes.
State will move to admit.
And, you know, as much as I love watching trials, I think that when you start watching them, you think you're always going to get like a Matlock moment, and you don't realize that a lot of evidence in trials comes in this way. Oh, is this a, affidavit authenticating this? Is this a, is this a chain of custody this? So it really takes the entire, going through all of this procedural stuff. So if you're new to watching trials, I want to tell you that, yeah, trials can be a lot of fun, but a lot of it is this sort of, kind of dance of perfunctory, steps that you have to put in order to put in this information. So we're all wanting that Perry Mason moment, that in the heat of the night moment. But a lot of trials are this. It's, doing the work, getting the search warrants, then getting the, affidavits from the company, then going through all of these, Excel sheets and finding what you need out of that. But I do wish that there were some more Perry Mason moments, although Lori's going to do her damnedest. So let's not put her out of the running yet.
Exhibit 227.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
227 is admitted.
Right.
He was in between
So let's go
cases,
through
Dolly.
these. So again, we're seeing SMS messages, and we're starting here on July 9th, correct?
Yeah, 3:05 PM?
And these are from Lori Vallow. This starts the first one, from Lori Vallow to Alex Cox.
Yes.
So we see Lori Vallow tell her brother that Mel is bringing Bodie over here for you now, so can you come? Correct?
Yes.
So the 9th is the day that Charles and Adam are making their plane reservations.
Yes.
And do we see that Alex tells Lori he'll be over in a bit?
Correct?
And then as we continue on the 9th, we see Lori respond, perfect, thanks, right?
Yes.
And then Alex has to ask for her address, correct?
Yes.
And so on the 9th, Lori Vallow provides her brother with the address she lives at, 5531 South Four Peaks, correct?
Correct.
And then there appears to be a response from Alex to her AX.
I believe that's probably an attempt to correct the prior state in the above. He spells AX as well, too. So there's an
Okay.
AX below.
Okay. So a little bit,
Arizona's AZ, right? That being said, Arizona just got one major pro put in their, Mo and good climate for my condition and all that. But I just learned y'all's BK, your Burger King has chicken fries all day. Like it is a motivation. It is at least one tick in the pro column, which, Arizona didn't have a whole lot, in my opinion. I know people live there, not knocking it, just saying for me, the chicken the chicken fries being available 24/7, major pro.
later, we see that was at 4:57 PM, correct?
Yes.
So at 9 o'clock on the 9th, do we see a message from Lori Vallow to Alex Cox? So the plot thickens, call me when you can.
Yes.
Now, at that point, when you looked at,
I heard her green chili enchilada recipe. Does this woman know how to thicken a sauce? I mean, I wouldn't trust her to know the difference between a sauce and a gravy. That being said, sure, the plot thickens. No one cares enough about you, crazy, to want to plot against you.
phone records, did you see any call between Lori Vallow and Alex Cox initially after this first text message?
Not after that first one, no.
So about 47 minutes later, on July 9th, at 9:50 PM, does Lori Vallow send her brother Alex Cox a message, getting sleepy, so I'm going to need you to stay close to me the next couple days. Mel too. She can't go to Utah. They are planking some kind of intervention, but want Mel out of the way, so I'm left alone. I need to come get the stuff at your house tomorrow and store it or secure it. Lots to do. Thank you for standing by me. It's all coming to a head this week. I will be like Nephi, I am told, and so will you. When you saw that message, did you ever check Alex Cox's cell phone records to determine whether or not there was a phone call after that?
I did.
Did you see that Alex Cox and Lori Vallow talked on July 9th at 21:56 hours? What time would that be?
9:56.
So 6 minutes after this.
Wait, I know it's ADHD, but is Nephi the same as the Nephites? Look, like I said, y'all, I'm not LDS, so I don't know this particular book of the Bible. That being said, are the Nephites and Nephi the same person, or is it like, are two people named Cher? I'm confused. that being said, I could Google it, but I am so irritated by the even mention of a Nephite or Neophyte or Nephilim at this point that I don't want to be, I cannot be bothered to look it up. I would rather live in ignorance, which normally I don't want to, but at this point, I cannot be bothered to feed into Lori's delusion anymore about her spiritual identity.
For 56 minutes.
Correct.
So 6 minutes after this text message, Lori and her brother have almost an hour-long conversation.
Yes.
Now, in this message, when you were going through these records, did you recognize or learn who Nephi was?
So in going through this particular message, I knew that Nephi was a figure in the Book of Mormon related to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, but I didn't understand the significance. So I then did some research to find out who Nephi was.
You were present in court when Adam testified, correct?
Yes.
And did his testimony about Nephi being told by the Holy Spirit to kill Laban and that this was a justified killing match with what you had learned when you researched it?
Yes, it did.
So as you were going through these messages, and let me say this investigation, were you able to get to this like July 12th? You're on it and reviewing all these iCloud accounts?
No.
Did it take significant period of time to start finding phone numbers and finding iCloud accounts and then writing warrants to obtain them?
Correct. It's an evolving process. You would find one, and then that would lead you to another. So you're continually writing search warrants for other carriers and businesses.
Okay. So when you're reviewing this now, you know the scene and you're understanding some of the case, but you're still putting pieces together.
Right.
Now, you
Come on board. They just left all the damn evidence too. I mean, they could, I'm still just, I'm cracking up internally and may mark this day on the calendar that I felt smarter technologically than someone because they done took pictures with their cell phone of another cell phone. I may never stop cracking up internally.
were you aware from looking at Charles's phone and the messages between Charles and Adam that they were talking about an intervention?
Yes.
So on July 9th, Adam and Charles were discussing an intervention,
Correct.
possibly recording Lori.
Yes.
And then what we see then at 9:50 at night is Lori telling her brother that they're planning an intervention.
Yes.
So the same day that Adam and Lori were, or that Adam and Charles were talking, Lori is already letting her brother know there's going to be an intervention.
Correct.
And they're trying to get her separate and alone for this.
Correct.
And then there's that long phone call that we don't have recorded, correct?
Yes.
Judge, do you want me to keep going through these or break here? I do have a significant number
Yeah,
more.
let's go ahead and take our lunch recess. Almost 12:05. I'll remind the jury to remember the admonition. We'll resume at 1:30 p.m.
All right, for the
I mean, I will say that this prosecutor is taking her time. I will say that with the amount of foundation and the different, kind of places they have to go for all of these things, it is a little bit dense, but it's also a lot that you need. And Tammy, I am in love with this chair. I have the heating on right now because I am constantly cold, but I like that I can adjust. You've probably seen me like mute my mic and move a little bit. Tammy, I was going to do a room tour this week, and actually, in the fashion of getting a new office area, we're looking at. So right now, you can currently see that used to be my bookshelf for when I had my old office, but with this current chair, it's not easy to center up, and I'm losing a lot of functional space in my room. So just as soon as I get it all set up, we are changing it again so that I have a way to display things. We're looking at shelving so I can fully put my chair back and look, I am not sponsored by this chair, but if you do have someone, it's pricey. I am not going to lie to you. We probably spent more than a couch on this chair. It does help. It does assisted stand up. It has massage and heat built into it. So yes, it was expensive, but I have to rethink a lot of my office now with kind of how it needs to be centered in different things. So, in the true fashion of getting everything set up to where I think I like it and then realizing that it's not going to work out, I will be doing the rest of the room tour because it's pretty much done. But this office area is kind of a work in progress since we didn't know how the chair is oh, doggone it, a Vialift. So let me put that on there. Or Viva Lift. And it really helps on especially days like today when it's rainy and stormy outside. I can still stream when I probably wouldn't have been able to if this had been just a regular office chair. I really like it. I mean, I'll give y'all a little. Like, it goes all the way back. I can put my feet up. It's got lumbar support and things like that. So it's just when you have chronic pain or when you have things, you don't realize the everyday miracle and you take a lot for granted. I know I did before I got hurt, of just being comfortable in a chair, like just a regular chair and being comfortable. I didn't realize how much I would have to modify things or go through trial and error. So if you don't have chronic pain, or if you're having a really good day, enjoy those good days, but don't take for granted being able to sit in a chair and, just not be in pain. Because good night, nurse. Is it something you really, really miss when it is gone? Let me get this going.
All right.
Thank you.
Go ahead. Sorry about that.
Oh, thank you. All right, so just to put us back into perspective, when we broke before lunch, we were discussing Exhibit 227, correct?
Yes,
And this was some of the SMS or text messages between Lori Vallow and Alex Cox that were collected from her Lolly Time iCloud account.
correct.
Okay. And we had discussed the text messages from July 9th referencing the intervention.
Yes,
And we had discussed the text messages from July 9th discussing Nephi.
yes,
Those messages also referred to Mel, correct?
correct.
Now, as we go to the next page of this report, for the 10th of July, do we then see text messages between Lori Vallow and Alex Cox talking about meeting up for lunch with Mel on July 10th?
I do.
And then as those messages go along, does Lori Vallow in fact invite Alex over to her house?
Yes,
And he advises, okay.
yes,
God love him. Mr. Mo's like, hey, we have sausage in the freezer. And I was like, yeah, we do. I don't know. Okay, y'all, I'm actually proud of this. Like, I don't get like full of pride in myself, except when I find deals. And my local Kroger, now, I'm not saying I hunt my local Kroger like a wolf pack does, but they sometimes have really good sales on meat. Yeah, clearance meat. But they had a bunch of real like Jimmy Dean sausage for like $1.89 per roll. And I have frozen them. And so he's like, I would love if you'd make me some biscuits and gravy. And I was like, okay, that's fine. We don't have any biscuits. And he's like, oh, I just really want the gravy. But he was at the store and he's like, okay, what biscuit would I get if we were going to make biscuits and gravy? Yeah, 80s music, man. I did not appreciate how much being, just feeling comfortable in my own body was such an everyday miracle. And if you've got it, don't waste it. Go do all the things, because I could kick myself for how much time I wasted, just in a body that could function the way I was used to. And I'm getting used to this body, so it's not a huge deal, but, don't ever, take for granted your health, because if if anything happens, you really will look back and kick yourself for taking for granted before.
Are there any text
Back to
messages
the
between
crazy
them on the
text.
11th of July?
There are none.
Now, the next messages that we show in this, and again, these are not all of the text messages, correct?
Correct.
Is from the 13th of July, correct?
Correct.
And it says, "Need you, Adam is freaking out." Based upon your understanding of the case and the testimony of Adam Cox, is that when he found out Charles Vallow was dead?
That is correct.
So this one is from Lori Vallow to Alex saying, "Need you, Adam is freaking out."
Yes.
Again, as we kind of go through what was relevant, and we're not saying these are all of the text messages, on August 12th, do we see a text message from Lori Vallow to Alex Cox saying at Social Security?
Yes, you do.
Based upon your information and review of the case, were you familiar with August 12th being the date that Lori Vallow went to Social Security to apply for survivor benefits?
Yes.
You told us that when you were looking through these messages, we had originally looked at some of the messages from the Lori for Style account. And you had,
Really? So Adam freaking out about the fact that your brother Alex, shot him in self-defensoratedness. He self-defendorated himself. Adam suddenly becomes a zombie. How convenient. I mean, that the forces of evil and your personal ambitions align. Lori, are you sure you weren't translated into a demon? Because this would actually make more sense than you being a, heavenly, body, heavenly translation rather than a demonic translation. Because, if everyone that bothers you suddenly becomes a demon too, I mean, it kind of makes sense.
looked for messages involving Ned, correct? When we heard testimony from Serena Sharp, do you recall her using the word zombie?
I do.
And that she indicated that that was a term that Lori used.
Correct.
And it referred to something to do with the possession.
Yes.
As you were looking through these messages, did you ever see Lori referring to people as Z's
I
or
did.
Z,
Just the single letter Z.
single letter Z? And so when we look at these messages, Exhibit 227, do we see starting on September 3rd, a message from Lori Vallow to her brother Alex Cox saying, "Bad news on our brother."
Yes.
And Alex responds, "What's that?"
Correct.
And she says, "Z."
Yes.
And does Alex then say, "Really, when was that?"
Yes.
When everyone turns into a zombie, when Mercury's in retrograde. Seriously, there's no other critical thought than, really, huh? Okay. Is demonic possession like something you can pick up like the common cold? Because, I mean, people are dropping like flies around Lori. Good Lord. Purell, it's a thing.
As that conversation continued on that September 3rd.
Wait, there is now an MLM of demonic possession because Ned apparently recruited this new zombie. And then someone said, that makes sense. Let's continue because I need to hear how this makes sense.
Does Lori tell Alex as of early January?
Yes.
Now, is it your understanding, based upon both testimony from people like Kay Woodcock as well as your own investigation and testimony from Christina Atwood, that sort of in February and March is when Lori Vallow disappeared?
Yes.
So she's now saying her brother has been a Z as early as January. Does then Alex Cox respond back to her? That explains his interest in Charles.
You say her brother, I think, as far as Z or Zach? Zach is.
Her
Z.
brother
Yes.
first.
Yeah.
So initially, she's talking about her brother, right?
Correct. Yes.
And so in this conversation, as we start through, Lori is telling Adam or Alex that their brother is a Z, correct?
Correct.
As early as January. And it's tied to Charles, right?
Correct.
And in fact, the next text from Lori Vallow to Adam says, Ned recruited him shortly after. This is why, right?
Yes.
She then goes on to say he's part of the 24, correct?
Yes,
And Alex says, that makes sense. Wow.
correct.
Does Lori then go on to speak of more Z's?
She does.
Does she in fact say, again, still on this September 3rd conversation, more sad news, guess who is the final Z of the 24?
Yes,
And Alex questions if it's Pops or Brandon.
correct.
And then Alex also says, Zach. Oops, may not be showing yet, sorry. So Lori tells, guess who the final Z of the 24 is, right?
Correct.
And we see from Alex, he guesses Pop.
Okay, wait a minute, because I need this. Yeah. I need this explained to me, and I've got the perfect visual representation. Lori, are we doing spiritual tic-tac-toe? Is this what we're doing here? So are the demons playing spiritual tic-tac-toe / whack-a-mole? Honestly, found this on clearance at Walmart, and a tic-tac-toe game that I can put on the wall that kind of matches. But anyway, I mean, seriously, this is not even 4D chess. This is demonic tic-tac-toe played by someone with only the vaguest understanding of the game. How did anyone fall for how? No one looked at this heifer dead in her stupid face and said, "Do what now?" I mean, I'm sure they did. They all became zombies, Zemans. They were Zemans from Lori's imagination. Dear God.
Pops or Brandon with a question mark.
Yes,
And then Alex also responds, Zach.
correct.
And sort of the times here are close in time.
Correct.
We have 10:20:29 and 10:20:43. Lori responds, nope, think of Judas, who loved me completely, then turned against me.
Yes,
And then we see Alex saying, tell me.
Your brain?
And Lori Vallow says to Alex, yes, our sweet Zach, he is in paradise, the real Zach. It makes final sense.
can you push that up a little further just to verify? That is correct.
And does Alex then ask Lori, his sister, when this happened?
Yes,
Because this all makes perfect sense. I mean, who wouldn't?
So we're still on the same date. And does Lori then tell Alex about the time he turned? Makes sense, he being dedicated to Brandon and Ned.
yes,
So again, we're still seeing this reference of Ned being Charles.
correct.
And so now they're tying Adam,
I thought
Zach, and Brandon
Netadius was
with
gone.
Charles.
Correct.
Nedius of the
And so do we
Chaos
see
Dimension.
again, so from Alex to Lori, so February.
Yes,
And again, is this around that time period where Lori Vallow disappeared,
correct.
left JJ with Charles?
Yes,
And we had heard in the interview that the defendant gave with Detective Van Clan that she told her about her just leaving and disappearing.
yes,
As that conversation goes on, does Alex then say, how did Zach die or was he forced out?
he does.
Previously in the Lori for Style, had we seen again a reference of Charles' body being alive, but Ned being gone?
Yeah,
And again, we've heard people testify as to Charles being possessed by that evil spirit
yes,
and the unknown of if that spirit went away, what that would mean for Charles.
correct.
So this conversation then, after Alex asked Lori, how did Zach die or was he forced out? Does Lori go on to say, it's crazy, I know, but it's sad and true. Now we know all 24, right?
Yes,
And then she also tells Alex, forced out, I think.
correct.
24. Interesting that she wouldn't have stuck with a symbolic number like 12 or 7 or 3. I mean, I guess if you have 24 people that annoy you, though, 24 is the correct number. It's just you would think if you're going to, be vaguely culty, you'd use, one of those numbers. I mean, I'm not telling you how to cult, though, Lori. I mean, you seem to have done a fantabulous job yourself.
And did Alex then say with his anxiety, he wasn't strong enough to fight back?
Yes,
And Lori, and he said, So throughout this time period, from February of 2019 up through September after this, are we still seeing Lori talking about Charles being dead,
Yes,
this concept of Z or zombies,
correct.
and others that seem to have helped Charles were equally dark?
Yes,
On the day, or the day leading up to, as well as on the 11th of July, so July 10th and 11th, did you, in looking at the reports for the Lolly Time iCloud account, see messages between Lori Vallow and her sister Summer?
I did.
In those messages, did you see Summer providing updates as to the location of Adam and Zach on the 10th?
On the 10th, yes.
Was this a family or a cult meeting? A cult clan extension? Like, what the hell? I mean, you've got covert operations, you've got pre-plans, you've got two people that are just trying to get some mental help for a woman who's obviously struggling with a tenuous grasp on reality and, well, age-appropriate hair. So, wow.
And did you also see Summer providing information about a place for Lori to stay?
I did.
I can have my paralegal approach with 287. Messages between, from Summer, Lori's sister, to Lori on July 10th, advising about Adam and Zach.
I do.
State will move to admit 287 into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection.
287 is admitted.
Now, just so we understand again, how is Zach related to Adam?
Zach is Adam's son.
And so we heard Adam say that when he came down here, Zach was staying with his parents.
Yes,
And Zach ended up actually flying home with him.
yes,
So on the 10th of July, we see, again, this is instant messages now. Is that another type of data that could be saved in the iCloud account?
yes, it can.
So in these instant messages, we can see who it's from as a contact of Some, right?
Correct.
And Adam had told us that Summer was sometimes called Some.
Yes,
And then again, contact the 480 with the last numbers 9562, is that Lori Vallow's?
yes, it is.
So instant messages between Lori Vallow and Summer.
Yes,
So on July 10th at 2:04, Summer's asking if Lori can talk.
yes,
And then about 34 minutes later, does she advise that Mom is in the car with Adam and Zach on the way home from Sky Harbor?
correct.
And so we knew that Adam came in early afternoon on the 10th, right?
Yes,
And then Summer tells her sister, Lori Vallow, she wanted to know if she could confront him as a preemptive strike. I told her no, just to collect info.
yes,
So we know from the 9th, in that conversation or that text message by Lori Vallow to her brother Alex, that she's aware there's an intervention about to happen.
correct,
And she is rallying the troops around her.
correct.
And her mom is asking if she can help by doing a preemptive strike.
Yes,
Then do we see an instant message also on the 10th at 2:43 from Mimi. Adam thinks Melanie left for Utah today because that's the last he knew. I just left it that way.
yes,
Again, going back to that July 9th message, did Lori tell Alex that Mel had to stay and she couldn't go to Utah?
yes,
As Summer continues updating Lori Vallow on July 10th at 2:48, does she tell her they're headed to Mimi's house?
correct.
And then as we continue on at 7:10 at 3:29, does Summer provide an update again that Zach and Adam are headed to a Spider-Man movie in the time that is happening at?
Yes, they do.
Then on 7:10 at 4:56, we see again a message from Summer. I think so, just me and the kids here, right? Or
Correct.
M. Then we see a reference to JJ at 7:10 at 6:25 that he left his wrist brace and ukulele there, right?
Yes,
could see JJ loving a ukulele. I know my youngest, most feral, loved his little play guitar that I think was billed as a ukulele, but one of those fairly inexpensive things that you can get like on Black Friday. So I could imagine that JJ loved that.
At 6:26 p.m. on July 10th, does Summer then offer Lori that she could stay at her house?
She does.
She tells her, would you rather stay here this week while we are gone? That way no one would know you were here. We can tell Zach we are putting Zeus in a kennel.
Correct.
But she's willing to lie to Zach so her sister can stay at her house and have no one know where she is.
Apparently.
Then she continues to update Lori that at 8:10 p.m. on the 10th that Zach and Adam are still here playing Phase 10 and eating, right?
Yes.
And as the night goes on, Summer then advises that, again, keeping her updated where Adam and Zach are.
Correct.
Did this message say, again, that Adam was waiting for Al to text him back?
Yes.
So again, we knew Adam was thinking he was staying with Al, right?
Correct.
And then finally, at 8:54, we see Adam and Zach just left to go to Mimi's.
Yes.
And so we heard from Adam that they stayed with his parents.
Correct.
And then on the 11th, did we just see instant messages from Summer reaching out to Lori saying, how's it going today?
Yes.
No responses on those.
No.
Now, we've seen a lot of this mention of Melanie, or Mel, and when Adam testified, he told us that his sister's daughter was Melanie Boudreau at the time, correct?
Correct.
In the lollytime@icloud.com account, was there a contact name for a Mel B, or Melanie B?
Yes, there was.
And did you learn who Melanie B was in this contact list?
That was Melanie Boudreau.
So we see a mention of a Mel in that July 9th Nephi text to Alex, right?
Correct.
And we see other mentions of Mel throughout these other text messages that we've had,
Yes.
including the need for Melanie or Mel not to go to Utah, correct?
Correct.
Show defense 228.
Go ahead.
Some of the text messages from the 9th and 10th between Lori Vallow and Melanie B on the Lolly Time.
Yes, they are.
And do those, again, involve sort of Melanie staying here in Phoenix instead of going to Utah,
Yes.
as well as updating on where Charles is and where Al is?
Correct.
State will move to admit 228.
Any objection?
No objection.
228 submitted.
Times where we see sort of the call me things sent. When you first look at this 228, the messages between Lori Vallow and Melanie B on July 9th at about 7:21 p.m., do we start with a message from Lori to Melanie, need to talk to you ASAP?
Yes.
Now, when you were talking about the Alex message, let me grab that one. When we look at 227, we see messages with Alex Cox that are a little bit later, where we're talking the plot thickens, call me when you can, right?
Correct.
So these messages to Melanie B occur before, but it's the same sort of thing. So the plot thickens, call me when you can. We see a message from Lori to Melanie, need to talk to you ASAP, right?
Correct.
And then I'll call you in 5, finding out what to do. Correct?
Correct.
And then a response of K.
Yes.
As sort of the night goes on, we see some sort of messages of Melanie updating Lori of where she is and what's going on, right?
Correct.
And then we see from Lori telling Melanie at 8 o'clock, you can't go tomorrow. It's a setup for both of us, still on the phone, finding out the details.
Correct.
At that time, she hasn't sent the message yet to Alex, correct?
Correct.
So the Nephi message has not gone out yet.
Yes.
So then we see Lori Vallow sending to Melanie B. They have an elaborate plan. I'll call you soon.
Yes.
Correct?
Correct.
Then as the time goes on, we see a message again, now from Melanie saying, I could take all the babies and drive and take our stuff.
Correct.
But Lori responds, you can't go at all. We both need to stay here to defend ourselves, right?
Can you move that up, please?
Sure. Yes, sorry.
That is correct.
So Lori's telling her you can't go.
Yes.
And this is where then we see a message from Lori Vallow to Melanie B. It's coming to a head. This week will change everything.
Yes.
And that's where Melanie B. says, probably why I felt sick about going, even when told to plan to go.
Correct.
And then again, we see another call me, right?
Correct.
Now, when we look at timing, we know again, when we go to 227, that the plot thickens to Alex is at 9:03, right?
Yes.
And so now we also have the plot thickens also sent here where they're talking.
That's to Alex.
Sorry, that's Alex, yes.
Right.
So as the night goes on, 9:28, this is sort of in between those messages to Alex as well as before the Nephi one.
Right.
And do we see here that Melanie says, I can lay at my house if I need somewhere to go. And then she goes on to say, I think I'll tell him I don't want to get the kids sick, so I'll go lay down at Mimi's, then gym, temple, and lunch.
Yes.
So she's going to pretend to be sick, but she's going to go to the gym, temple, and lunch.
Correct.
Then she continues to sort of,
Don't know how keen on God is about being a lie/alibi. But there you go. Like, go to the temple to, lie to people to avoid an intervention. Perfect sense. Calculus on point.
advise what's going on the 10th and tell Lori, is it better for me to stay here or leave, do you think? So she's getting her direction from Lori.
Correct.
And then from Melanie, she advises, Lori, Adam and Charles don't come until tomorrow, right? Or she asked her. And then she says, Brandon said, it's okay, we can get in a flight tomorrow or whenever you're better.
Yes.
So on the 10th, Melanie asked if Charles and Adam are coming in, right?
Yes.
And Lori tells them they both come tonight. Correct?
Yes.
So she already knows that Adam is coming and that Charles is
Charles is
coming.
coming, yes.
Does it go on? Okay. This is from Melanie. So today doesn't really matter, but I'm here. I have the kids tomorrow and that could make it easier for them. So I should probably be sick again tomorrow, question mark?
Correct. Correct.
These two are
And again, does Lori
Nancy
say, I think
Grace,
so, but
watch
I think
out.
they're moving their plans to tomorrow since they will still try to get rid of you.
Yes.
Then there's a discussion from Melanie about wanting to go to this wedding.
Correct.
And Lori saying, I know, baby, I'm so sorry. This is important to your mission, even though I know it's hard to just sit there.
Correct.
So she's given her a mission to pretend to be sick.
She has a mission, yes.
Then we see from Melanie, I just got to the gym, but do you want to do lunch after? What's your day look like? Are you going to Glendale?
Correct.
So we can see a plan going here where she's pretending to be sick for Lori, but they're meeting up.
Yes.
Lori says, yes, let's do lunch. I'm not going today.
Correct.
Then they discuss sort of meeting up. And as we go on in the 10th, is Melanie advising her that Brandon's been here the whole time. He's been on the phone and texting the whole time. I told him I'm trying to get on a flight tomorrow, but he thought the wedding was tomorrow, so he was surprised it's Friday.
Correct.
And Lori tells her maybe she can go tomorrow night. So on the 11th, Lori Vallow already knows by the 10th, Lori Vallow was already knowing, but by the night of the 11th, Mel need not stick around.
Correct.
So she needs to be there in the morning, but maybe you can go tomorrow night on the 11th.
Correct.
And then we see again, Melanie, maybe I'll tell him
it's a scotch premeditatory, if you will.
I'm not going at all. And then I just end up going Thursday night, but his plans are canceled. And again, so July 11th is Thursday, right?
Yes.
Lori then tells Melanie, I don't want you to regret not going, right?
Correct.
Melanie checks in on Lori. This is still the 10th. How are things on your end? And also, I don't want to regret not going. Meanwhile, I'm over here dreading packing and playing sick, right?
Correct.
So she confirms that she's doing this for Lori to distract Brandon.
She's not really sick, yes.
Then we see Melanie saying, packing for the move, that is, and then asked to be, will you clear me?
Correct.
So still on the 10th, as we get to 6:47, we have Lori telling Melanie, sure, I'll work on you now. Do you want to come over for a blessing?
Correct.
And this is where we then see Melanie ask, sure, I can, but is Charles coming? Is Al there? Right? And so Lori lets her know that Al is here at 7:18 p.m. on July 10th, right?
Correct.
And Charles says he will come over in the morning.
Yes.
So at 7:18, everyone sort of knows Al is over at Lori's, Charles isn't there, he'll be over the next morning.
Correct.
And then we see Melanie say, I'll head over, right?
Correct.
This next message is from the 11th, correct?
Yes.
And we see her tell Lori again, Zach is here, right?
Correct.
And again, now it's closer to 8. He just acted like he was coming over to get his mail. He told Brandon, oh, hey, Adam's in town. And Brandon acted like he didn't know. I asked if he was moving in with Adam Cannon, and he said he doesn't know yet. And then did they confirm after that, I can fly out at 9 p.m. tonight and be back Saturday afternoon?
Correct. And those two prior messages, you could see the time frame of 7:48. Obviously, the event has taken place, and they're not read until 1:38 in the afternoon.
Okay. So yes, so this is at the 7:53 a.m. when this is sent. That is after Lori Vallow has left the house with Charles's phone in his car.
Correct.
And it's read at 1:28 after Lori Vallow has been interviewed and released back in Charles Vallow's SUV.
Yes.
And they go over to Alex's house.
Correct.
This is just all the crazy, all the crazy.
Trying to put this case together, you're having to pull all these different text messages to see when Lori knew what she knew and who she was directing to do things, correct?
Correct.
As you were looking through these messages, were you also having to figure out who some of these people were?
Yes, I was.
We had talked about that phone number, the 515 number that was listed as a contact of Bubby. Do you
Yes.
recall that?
Yes.
And that you, through looking at the iCloud account, the text messages, the call that was made by Chad Daybell using this phone and recorded, that Bubby contact name is Chad Daybell.
Correct.
When you were reviewing those iCloud accounts, does every text message always save in them?
They do not know.
So did you also have to look at phone records to see if those matched up or if there were missing records?
I did.
And we talked about, obviously, phone calls are not saved in the iCloud account, right?
Correct.
So when you were looking at
Heck yeah.
those Chad Daybell phone records, did you look to see on the morning of July 11th of 2019 if there were any text messages or phone calls made between Chad Daybell's Bubby phone and Lori Vallow?
I did.
Do those records show a text message from Chad Daybell's phone to Lori Vallow's phone on July 11th of 2019 at 6:06 a.m.?
Yes.
And those are all in the records that we previously admitted.
Correct.
Was there another text message from Lori Vallow's cell phone to Chad Daybell's phone on July 11th at 6:12 a.m.?
Yes.
Was there a text message from Chad Daybell's phone to Lori Vallow's phone at 7:01 a.m.?
Correct.
And another text message from Chad Daybell's phone to Lori Vallow's phone at 7:33 a.m.
Yes.
So those phone records don't show us the content of those.
No, it just shows that the message they were communicating, but her iCloud will not show the actual content of those.
Okay. Looking still at that Exhibit 223, as well as Exhibit 223, which is the 515 number associated with Chad Daybell, and looking at the T-Mobile records for Lori Vallow, Exhibit 220. Did you look at those two records to see if there was any calls or text messages between Chad Daybell's phone and Lori Vallow's phone after Charles was shot on
Yes.
July 11th?
Yes.
Was there a phone call between those two phones, Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow, on July 11th at 12:39 p.m.?
Yes, there was.
That lasted about 1 minute and 45 seconds.
Correct.
So that would have been after Lori Vallow was interviewed by the police and brought back to the residence.
Correct.
Was there no other phone call on July 11th, 2019, from Chad Daybell's phone to Lori Vallow's phone at 2:28 p.m. that lasted a little over 11 minutes?
Yes.
Is that around the time that Detective Enclan was calling Lori to have her come back to 5531 South Four Peaks?
Yes, it was.
Did you see another call between Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell at 5:42 p.m. that lasted for over 30 minutes?
I did.
And did you see another call between Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow on July 11th of 2019 at 7 p.m. that lasted approximately 11 minutes?
Yes.
And did you see a final call on July 11th between Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow at 7:54 p.m. that lasted a little over 13 minutes?
I did.
Wow, all that time, but she could only text Charles's adult sons and not even tell his sister. Gotta love this moral high horse that I'm sure believes she's more pious than I am. Yeah, I wish they would have just talked to each other in their closet portals, instead of having to give us the grossest, weirdest, most friction-filled Mormon erotica that those chat texts were, because ew.
When you were looking at the text messages between Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell, or contact name Bubby, that you located in those Lollytime at iCloud account, did you notice a romantic relationship between them?
Yes, I
Again, Bubby, like, come here, Bubby. No, I can't, ooh, that really butters my biscuit, Bubby. No, just, oh. Mostly because the only context that I ever hear Bubby in is brother. Again, this is more telling than you want to admit, Lori, when you have your brother boyfriend and you also name your side piece after, well, what one colloquially would call their brother. Kind of says something about you or about me that I make those associations, but I'm going to put it on you.
did.
Prior to Charles being shot and killed on July 11th of 2019, did you see any open and obvious romantic messages from Chad under any of his contact names that you knew of to Lori Vallow?
I did not.
After Charles's death on July 11th of 2019, did you see any open and obvious romantic messages from Chad Daybell under any of his contact names to Lori Vallow?
I did.
Well, they aren't the smartest criminals.
Now, contact name Bubby or Chad Daybell.
Yes, they were.
And again, those are all part of that, recovered as part of the search warrant on the Lollytime at iCloud account.
Yes.
This is a look of a detective like, I ain't reading that Chad and Elena stuff. I ain't doing it. You can't make me read that weird thing that he wrote to her, that little erotica. You can't make me do it. I will not. I refuse.
In these text messages, did Chad write I'll call it, romantic story about Lori and himself that he texted and emailed to her?
He did.
Oh my God, we're going back to the look of disgust flash that just went over his face like, dear God, why you make me do this? This man looks more uncomfortable than the unfortunate high school friend that was called in to read Proctor's text messages. Oh, and she did it. He's like, look, all I ask is that I don't have to read that little romantical thing James and Elena. I knew it wasn't James and Elena, but I think he switches over and forgets that he's supposed to be writing about these fictional people somewhere in there. I don't know. I've blocked out most of that stream, if I'm honest. And the storm and loin fire. Oh God, loin fire. Well, considered the amount of layers they had as they were dry humping, I'm sure that there was friction there was friction fire somewhere.
Story about Lori and himself that he texted and emailed to her.
He did.
Did he have other names for them?
I believe the names were James and Elena.
Did that story seem to sort of at least match the timing of when they met?
It did.
Were some of them more promiscuous?
Yes.
Did they also include conversations, though, about people like Adam and Brandon
They did.
and about Ned?
Yes.
I currently can approach with 229.
Probably, although that's still 30 seconds longer than I want to imagine. Oh no, she's going to make him read it. Oh, I am here for this. I should have just skipped to this part.
And may the state will move to admit Exhibit 229.
Any objection?
Just relevance to the conspiracy, Your Honor.
All right, the proper foundation's been made. I will admit 229.
229.
229 is admitted.
So
Loins of fire.
we've talked about Adam and Brandon, correct?
Yes.
And so one of the first message in this Exhibit 229 is from July 13th, so 2 days after Charles was shot and killed.
Yes.
And do we see, at this point, Chad is asking Lori, how did Adam and Brandon find out?
Correct.
And again, on the 13th,
Because homicides are usually publicized in the local, news. Fair point. If you do have a drip, go to a clinic.
at 9:51, we see Lori telling Chad, my mom, because she was so mad, she went off on Adam.
Correct.
And again, when we go back to Adam's testimony, did he indicate he learned Charles had died on the 13th
Correct.
and that he got in a fight with his mom?
Yes.
At that point, do we see then a message from Chad asking, did he have much to say in his defense?
Correct.
Okay, wait. Let me bring back out the tic-tac board of strategy. Okay, so we have Chad and Lori, who have definitely orchestrated a homicide, but the mom is mad at Adam, the guy trying to get her sister out of a crazy cult. No, this makes perfect sense in Chad and Lori land. I mean, just absolutely makes perfect sense. Oh, heaven help us. I think we have a Monday. I think we know what we're doing Monday, y'all, because I need to get that new release. Because do we have Loin Fire Part 2? The clappening? Oh my gosh. This might make my Monday.
And Lori responds, he was very defensive and tried to justify everything, but my mom kicked him out and said she would never talk to him again. She's dramatic.
Yes.
So we had learned that Adam had been speaking with Charles and that he hadn't told his family about this intervention, right?
Correct.
And that after this, he said he lost basically all contact with his family.
Yes.
And this seems to sort of
Yeah, police generally do put out a press release. I thought maybe there was more to Loin Fire, maybe like Loin Fire Part 2, the kinning. But yeah, daggone it. Now, see, I was all excited, but we do have Stephen Stern, looking forward to that, although I am of mixed opinions on that whole thing.
confer with that.
Correct.
Do we then see a switch over from talking about Lori's family to now Chad talking to Lori about being deeply, crazily, madly in love with Lily.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, he did change their names because at first it was James and Elena, then it was Raphael and Lily. I remember he changed his names, like the protagonist names, halfway through that abomination of literature, that Scrabble game that never should have been played. Oh, I will have to look at that. Of course she did. Why am I not shocked?
And we see again messages to and from Lori and Chad talking about sort of their love for each other.
Oh,
Correct.
God.
So prior to this, you really had not seen this open, obvious discussions about their relationship.
I had not.
He's like, I took up drinking because of it.
As the time continued, did you continue to see, again, messages of love, as well as a lot of calls?
I did.
Although we won't read through everything here, is this sort of part of that story you're talking about of James and Elena starting in November?
As November began, James and Elena had talked on the phone every day since last seeing each other. He was extremely impressed with her intelligence, personality, and subtle humor that made him laugh more than he had in a lifetime. Yeah, because what my husband noticed about me was my humor, not my rack. I mean, call a spade a spade. Mr. Mo is a boob man, so he's like, I noticed your smile and your boobs. And I was like, I'll take it. Honesty. I was attracted to your handsomeness and your personality too. So, hey, we were both equally as shallow. She was a complete delight to talk to. Is this a different Lori? Because I don't think those words could ever be used for her. And a highlight of his day was when he could hear her magical voice. Well, I'm sure anyone's voice sounds magical through a closet portal. It was so familiar to him. It actually healed and soothed his heart and soul. What, is he a 14-year-old girl going to like Hot Topic?
Correct.
And is November when the Preparing the People conference was here in Arizona of 2018?
Correct.
And we've heard testimony from witnesses that Chad Daybell was there.
Yes.
And you found actually a recording on the Lori for Style of Chad Daybell at the Preparing the People conference in November of 2018.
I did.
As we get to July 14th, do we see Chad then talking about cleansing the Houston house?
Clearing the Houston.
Clearing,
Yeah.
clearing the Houston house, sorry, to remove the darkness he caused.
Correct.
So who was living in?
I've been clearing the Houston house. I've removed the darkness he caused, and I've gotten the vibration up to 200 light. How does that work in like LED versus, regular light bulbs? Like how many times do you have to change the spiritual crystal to keep it at 200 plus, light? What in the name of all that is unholy is going on here?
In Houston?
Charles.
And had you seen and heard people testify that Charles was considered dark by Lori Vallow?
Yes.
And again, we continue to see the affirmations of love,
Yes.
the cheek to cheek and loin.
They loin to loin. Oh God, why? Why is it like I read like y'all, I am not kidding when I say that my Kindle Unlimited needs all the Jesus and would make most of, well, anyone that goes to church faint. Look, not gonna lie, my Kindle is smut upon smut. But there is something deeply discomforting about loin to loin. And I have read the most ridiculous trash that I think has been put, pen to paper in the last recent years. And that horrifies me. again, the use loin is just not a word that engenders sexiness in me. Now, it does remind me of a pork loin, which again, I don't know what that says about me. But I'd rather just not talk about loins of any kind, really.
loin?
Yes.
Oh, God, loin to loin. Ugh. Like most people don't like moist. Like moist as a word doesn't bother me, but loin does. Like, ugh.
Again, more conversations, both of love in text messages as well as phone calls.
Correct.
As we continue on the 14th, did Chad, let me ask you this, where was Chad Daybell living in July of 2019?
In Idaho.
So Chad is living in Idaho, and you told us
Alanis Morissette, get your bottom down here. We've got more irony for you to actually sing about. Jedi Jess, in her new filing, she mentions having a UTI, so literal loin fire. Jedi Jess, if you could drop her new filing, her new loin fire firing file. Well, I mean, it might have been firing out. Hell, how am I to know how a translated being has a UTI? You would think if you got like super like emancipated Jesus powers, you would not get UTIs. Like that would just be one of like the base level perks of divinity, not getting a UTI.
that you had seen flights of Lori to Idaho and Lori and Chad to Arizona in March of 2019.
Yes.
He's asking Lori, did everything go smoothly in ending the hotel stay and getting the car returned?
Correct.
And so we see Lori responding to him, I guess I turned in the car, but I don't know what the police did at the hotel, probably just left it.
Correct.
And so we know that the police got the key card from her and went and cleared out the hotel room.
Yes.
Essentially the same thing.
Do we see, again, a continuation of that story that Chad was writing to Lori Vallow?
You do.
Why does he, again, it's the gentle hugging and kissing and looking deeply into your eyes that just, no, none of that, thank you.
And that continues through most of this till apparently
Oh,
Chad
and
needed a
she's
shower.
dreaming about
Correct.
Elmer Fudd and Peter Griffin's love child. What the hell?
Now, as we again continue through this, are you seeing sort of every day multiple texts of love between these two?
I am, yes.
And again,
And welcome, publicly buzzed Raiders. We are on the Lori Vallow Daybell first trial in Arizona. So we are on day 7, finishing up this particular witness's testimony. We will not get into Lori's cross dumpster fire. That will definitely be a Monday thing. But we do have some time to kill before the Stephen Stearns plea. Again, still trying to figure out how I feel about that one. But let's get over with this. And welcome, we are into the loin reading of the Lori Vallow Chad Daybell, romantical literary journey that we're on. This poor detective having to read this crap.
going through the 17th, 16th, 17th, again, more affirmations of love, correct?
Yes.
Now, we know on the 15th of July is when Lori Vallow had called Banner Life Insurance to indicate that she was the beneficiary, right?
Correct.
And on the 18th is when she learned that she was not.
Correct.
So in Exhibit 229, do we see on July 18th at 12:18 Arizona?
Y'all, not for nothing. And look, if there was a time machine, there are so many better reasons than to use it. But if I were going to have one selfish terrible reason. Like, I couldn't go back and effectuate any change in history, but I could go back and witness one moment in time. I would go back to be in the room when Lori learned that she wasn't the beneficiary, with some popcorn and like a box of wine, and just watch the meltdown, because it must have been epic. Again, it would be a totally selfish and ineffectual, historical time travel backward, but that's what I would do.
At a time. So I talked to the insurance company. He changed it in March. So it was probably Ned before we got rid of him. They can't tell me to whom, of course, but it's done. I'll still get the $4,000 a month from Social Security.
Yes.
So on July 18th, after she talks with Banner Life Insurance, Lori tells Chad she's not getting the life insurance.
Correct.
But she tells him she's getting $4,000 a month from Social Security.
Correct.
Now, we know from Lori Vallow's text to Alex that she went to Social Security on August 12th, correct?
Yes.
And we also had testimony from Social Security about that.
Correct.
But here it is on July 18th of 2018, and she already knows she's going to get money from Social Security.
Correct.
Again, do you see a lot of additional, continuing, everyday, multiple affirmations of their relationship?
I do.
Ew.
And this email, or this report, just went through the July 18th, where we have that message about the Social Security.
Yes.
Did those affirmations continue on after
Yes,
that?
they did.
Because of course
So now
they
that
did.
Charles is dead, there's a very open texting and calling relationship between Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell.
Yes.
Now, we had
Subtle, they were
indicated
not.
that there were multiple contact names that were associated in the Lolly Time iCloud account to Chad Daybell.
Yes.
While you were looking at these text messages in the Lolly Time iCloud account, did you locate any for a contact name Melanie 2 with the number 2?
I did.
And in reviewing those messages, did you identify them as coming from Chad Daybell as well?
Yes, the number linked to that contact of Melanie 2 was for Chad Daybell.
Did you even see a message from Melanie 2 with an attached photo showing Chad Daybell?
Correct.
So Tammy, he did get the death penalty, and according to what Lori has told Nate Eaton in her latest interview, they are not allowed to communicate with each other directly. So I guess she sends postcards to his family, who send them back to her. I'm not quite sure. At least that's how it seems. Again, she was a little bit all over the place, but that's what I gathered from it. While they aren't in direct communication or can't directly communicate, they do kind of roundabout communicate, but he's still the love of her life. Ugh. And welcome, Slidey Pie from over on Rumble. Yes, I do have a Rumble. And I'm trying to get better this year at actually dual linking it. So if you don't like to go with YouTube, I am trying to do Rumble as well. Mostly I remember to link the streams together, although last week was hit or miss, not gonna lie.
And were all those, not all of them, were there a substantial number of those messages between Melanie 2 and Lori Vallow, the same sort of romantic discussions that you saw between contact names Bubby
Yes.
and Lori?
Yes.
The absolute grossness to put Chad under your niece's name, and like, just ew, make a different. Look, there are so many levels of ick and RSVP no in this particular case, but just layers upon layers of no thank you.
When you were looking at the conversation between Chad Daybell as the Bubby contact we saw a discussion about life insurance, correct?
Correct.
Did you also see a conversation between Lori and Melanie too, AKA Chad, about life insurance?
I did.
If I can have my paralegal approach with 288 and 230?
Lori, at this point, we're just going to ask, was there any evidence you didn't leave a digital footprint of?
Looking at 288 and 230, are those both one of the messages that is from Melanie to contact name to Lori Vallow that was had an attached photo of Chad Daybell and another individual?
Yes.
Was that some of the information used to verify that this Melanie 2 was in fact Chad Daybell?
It was.
And then in 230, is that some of the SMS messages showing both that same romantic relationship as well as that conversation about the life insurance?
Correct.
State will move to admit 288 and 230.
Any objection?
Just the relevant, Your Honor.
288 and 230 are admitted.
So starting with 288, was this, again, a message, an MMS, so meaning there's an attached photo with it, right?
Correct.
That occurred on July 17th of 2019 from Melanie 2 contact name. And it said, I took a photo with Alan Osmond for Mark.
Correct.
And when we looked at the photo, did you ever learn what Chad Daybell looked like?
I do know what he looks like, yes.
Is that Chad Daybell?
Yes, it is.
Again, this Muppet is who you get rid of Charles for. This weird looking doofus, again, love child of, well, let's be real, Ralphie from The Simpsons and Peter Griffin. I mean, he does kind of look like Ralphie. I am in danger.
Looks like yes.
Is that Chad Daybell?
Yes, it is.
So this is the person that she has been texting all the romantic love affirmations with right after Charles died.
Yes.
230, again, we see the same sort of romantic contact between them.
Correct.
And so this is, again, July 18th now, going on with another contact name for Chad Daybell in Lori's phone.
Yes.
And again, we see it's the Lolly Time iCloud account, right?
Correct.
When we get to July 18th, this one, though, isn't earlier. For the Bubby one, we saw that it was a noon time message, right?
Right.
And so we learned that Lori received a email indicating she was not the beneficiary, and later she had a phone conversation.
Correct.
Does this one appear to be sort of the earlier one because it references, I just got the letter from the insurance company saying that I'm not the beneficiary. It's a spear through my heart. Who do you think he changed it to? Brandon or probably Kay? He left.
We would all be so lucky if it had been a literal spear through the heart. YouTube, I'm not advocating for anything. I'm just saying it would have saved the taxpayers. That being said, yes, it's Cellbrite time.
Nothing for JJ.
Correct.
Did that conversation go on? Wow, that's terrible. There's no way to find out.
It did.
And did Lori then tell Chad, I might be able to see when I get his computer on Sunday, I could check the email sent to the insurance company. It will show change of beneficiary. He must have done it recently.
Correct.
So we had seen, in fact, photos what appeared to be from a computer that were sent to Chad Daybell, correct?
Correct.
Showing that beneficiary change.
Yes.
So does that seem to match with, again, what Lori's telling Chad here about finding out who got that money?
It does.
Does Chad then say, it seems you would have to agree to change, maybe the name was forged, you should have a good paper trail to prove it, right?
Correct.
So he's trying to help her figure out how to get that money. So you then go on to say, I love you, this is terrible. It's probably another step in bringing down, what is this?
Gaddy Anton.
Did you ever learn what that was?
I'm sure I researched it, but off the top of my head, I don't know what it is.
Okay.
What in the name of Gabatron? Is this another Nephite thing that if you weren't born LDS, you're not? Michael, she has not been the greatest at asking questions. I'm more having fun with the text messages. I will say that she's done a fairly good job, but she's not been one of my favorite attorneys in the way she asks questions, or kind of has things presented. That being said, she is going up against Lori Vallow Daybell, pro se, so, but she's not been my favorite. I think she did a serviceable job. I haven't enjoyed her style of questioning.
Did Lori then tell him, nope, he can change it anytime he wants. He's the agent and anyone can change the beneficiary anytime with their own signature. I'm thinking it must be Kay.
Correct.
So she understood, at least to Chad, that Charles had that right.
Yes.
Does Chad then say, it will be interesting if he if it got changed after he had 2 bullets in his chest?
Correct.
And she goes on to respond,
Wow. Wow. I thought Audacity was on clearance with Lori. Apparently, Chad Dumbbell is just as audacious and just as grotesque.
I don't think it could have. You can't change it after the death date. They would review that.
Correct.
And then she goes on to say again, I'm thinking Kay as well. Or he says, I'm thinking Kay as well. She's probably freaking out that you got those computers. I'm going to shower and give you a blessing. I'm eager to get home so we can talk. It will be okay, my love. You are wonderful.
Okay, again, this give you a blessing thing. Is this like the colloquial sort of thing, like I'll be praying for you? Or is this like laying of hands and we're actually doing a sacrament? Why is that the thing I choose to be confused about? Like not the Mormon porn, not any of anything else, not the zombie, not the demon named Ned, but it's the blessing part that I'm confused about.
Correct.
And then she says, miss you so much. And he responds, miss you the most.
Yes.
So during this conversation, we see Chad and Lori discussing who this likely would have gone to, and when it could have been changed, right?
Yes.
And that all occurred before the second conversation we see, also on the 18th, but closer to, I think, 12:30, 12:34, where she knows now it was changed in March.
Correct.
And in that, we see Chad referring to the 2 shots to the chest, right?
Yes.
So again, we know they've been talking about this. Did you see any other text messages talking about that?
I did not.
But we saw lots of phone calls between the 2 on the 11th.
Sure.
Now, as we have been talking through this conversation and much of this trial, we have referred to the defendant as Lori Vallow.
Correct.
And that's because she was married to Charles Vallow when he was shot on July 11th of 2019, right?
Yes.
During your review of those Lolly Time at iCloud accounts, did you find evidence of when she became Lori Daybell?
I did.
Did you see a contract for the wedding?
I did.
Did you see wedding photos?
I did.
Where was that wedding?
Hawaii?
In some cheap ratty dress that Charles paid for, with malachite rings that Charles paid for. Also, I do have a question. Now, it is demonic algebra, but if you use the money from a person that you unalived who you said was a demonic zombie, doesn't some of the taint of the demonic zombie, come onto the malachite ring that are for emotional and spiritual purity? Because I have questions, not to mention, I don't know how much emotional and, spiritual cleansing you get from $33 malachite rings on Amazon. But, Lori is, well, divinely touched. So I'm sure she'll be able to explain all of this.
I can have my paralegal approach with 233. Looking at Exhibit 233 is that the report as well as the actual document that was in the lollytime@icloud.com account that you reviewed, that the police obtained through a search warrant relating to when Lori Vallow became Lori Daybell.
Correct.
State will move to admit 233.
Any objection?
Relevance.
233 is admitted.
So the first part of this we see,
Lori, maybe someday you'll be relevant, but so far your Hail Mary of using relevance to object has not worked. So you might say that it's lost its relevance.
that, again, it notes that this is an image that was from the account, from the Lollytom iCloud account from 10/31, correct? And then this is the actual photograph that was uploaded into the iCloud account, correct?
Correct.
So we see Chad Daybell and Lori Ryan. Was Lori Ryan a prior name of Lori Vallow?
Yes.
That was Tylee Ryan's dad?
Correct.
So she used the Lori Ryan name in this. They used a home address of Rexburg, Idaho at that point.
Correct.
And then the date of the actual wedding is that November 5th of 2019.
Yes, it is.
So 4 months after Charles Vallow is shot and killed inside of the defendant's home, she has remarried to the man, Chad Daybell.
Yes.
I have no other questions for this witness.
Come on,
Cross-
Lori, you can do it. Put a little legal to it. And she's got the baby ponytail, so these are going to be good, you guys. Really good. She's channeling her inner L. She's going to figure this out.
Detective Duncan, when did you become the case agent?
I believe it was June of 2020.
Okay. And prior to you being the case agent, it was Detective Moffett?
Moffett, yes.
Is that correct? And was it because he got promoted that they made you the case agent over this case? or-
Yes.
Okay. And he's now a lieutenant, is that correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Cooking
And so
with
he was the
grease,
case, was there
Lori.
anyone in between? Was he the case agent the whole time until 2020 when you took over?
Correct.
Okay. And when you took over the case, what things did you do differently?
I wouldn't say differently. I continued what I was doing. I was looking at records for him. The records in this case, as you're aware, there's volumes of records. So continued to look at all of the independent iCloud records, call detail records, phone extractions, and also kind of reviewing what he had done prior to my assignment is what I'd done.
Right, so kind of reviewing and seeing what you need to look at.
Correct.
So is this, from what I was understanding what you were saying earlier, is this, you weren't really involved in the case since July 11th and now you're back involved in the case?
So July 11th, obviously, I was there at the house.
Right.
Shortly after that, I had another homicide and my time was occupied with that. And it was several months later that I offered to help look at records because they were so much. And I'd always done that kind of in the background, but never really took a deep dive into them until that June 2020.
Okay, but you were kind of involved, so you kind of knew what was going on in the investigation during
Somewhat.
during that time, that year in between,
yeah.
before you became the case agent?
Correct.
But not totally deep dive, but you kind of knew what was going on?
I understood it.
Okay.
Yes.
That's good.
Are we chatting over coffee? What the hell are these questions? Lori, what the hell? I need just the faintest, foggiest F where you're going with this, sweetheart, because right now I'm on the Oregon Trail and I'm lost, all right? All the way lost. Is there a point? Are we getting there? Or are we all going to die of dysentery?
So let's go over that day again real quick. When you were there, what time were you there at the scene, from when to when?
I believe I arrived shortly after 9:15.
Okay.
And I would have left probably 4:30.
Okay. Were you at the house that whole time?
Yes.
So
Well,
you didn't-
Let me back up.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I did leave for a short period of time to obtain a saw that we would need to cut that piece of flooring out and the baseboard.
Okay.
But then it came back, yes.
So you were at the scene that whole time, besides the time you went to get the saw?
Correct.
You didn't go to the Chandler Police Department?
No.
So you weren't there during our interviews?
No.
Okay. So, and you had mentioned something about you couldn't go in. I was confused. You couldn't go in until after the search warrant, but you were in before that, right?
No. So obviously your first responders, your police officers, the firefighters, they're going in to preserve life and treat the victim in this case. Then they back out. At that point, we will not let anybody in, given the circumstances of this case, until the search warrant is actually signed and executed. So we will wait outside the threshold of the house until that search warrant is signed, and then we will begin our investigation.
So I'm still confused. So you didn't go into the house until after the search warrant, or you did get to go in beforehand?
No, I didn't go in before. I waited until after the search warrant.
Okay. So you had testified. I'm still confused. Sorry.
I'm going to object again to the defendant.
The fact that you are confused or following the plot points isn't the... Okay, no, Lori, the first officers that went into the home did not wait for a search warrant. Him as a detective, he does have to wait for a search warrant. The exigent situation is no longer there. They are no longer going in to try to save Charles's life. They are going in to now investigate a homicide scene, a possible homicide. So the rules are going to be different. Dear Lord, Lori, things with warning labels confuse you. Stop it.
Testifying.
Just ask the question.
You had also indicated that you had gone in and that Charles was on the floor. Is that correct?
I think the question was asked of me is, what did I see when I went in? And so that, and I would say after the search warrant we went in, that's what I saw.
But he was already gone in the ambulance at that point?
He never went in an ambulance.
Charles didn't go in the ambulance?
No, he went with the medical examiner's office.
So what time?
Lori, have you been watching the same damn trial I have? You were there for a little bit of this. She's like, learn something new every day.
Did he leave?
I can't give you a specific time on that. I have to look at the medical examiner's office information for that.
But it was after you entered at 11:50?
Yes, it was way after that.
Okay. So then when you entered, what did you do at that point? Can you kind of walk me through that?
Yeah, so when I entered, obviously I made my general observations about what I saw in that room and of the body. And then talked with Detective Coons about what needed to be done next.
And what did you guys do next?
So we came up with a game plan as far as how to process the scene, which direction, who was going to do what. Like I indicated, I was tasked with collecting that firearm and was also tasked with kind of looking through the house for any kind of blood evidence that might be present. The other task that I had when we were ready, I contacted the medical examiner's office to report the death to them.
What time about was that call, do you think?
I do not know.
But sometime in between that, before 4:30, is that correct?
Correct.
And did everyone leave the scene at 4:30? Is that kind of the timing when people were clearing out, or?
Yeah, some might have stayed behind, and a lot of our ID techs like to sit in their cars and type their notes, that type of thing. But right around that 4:30, 4:45 is when the search warrant was completed.
Okay. And then there had been a walkthrough, is that correct?
Yes.
And so Alex had come back to the house just after 3-ish?
I believe that could have been the time, yes.
Okay. And then were you present during the walkthrough?
I was.
And who else was present?
Detective Moffitt, Detective Werther, Detective Coons, myself, and I want to say crime scene technician Jordan might have been there as well.
Okay. And was it Jordan that was wearing a body cam? Was there a body cam made of that?
No, I believe that Detective Werther had a body cam, but it something the malfunction it didn't capture.
So there's no recording of that at all?
No.
And Detective Moffitt was the case agent at that point, right? Because he'd been assigned that already?
Yes.
Okay. And so did each of you write reports on that walkthrough then, since there was no recording of it?
That would have all been included in our report, not a specific walkthrough report, but in our original narrative, yes.
Everyone would talk about it, mention it, with their perspective?
Not everybody has to, as long as somebody or one or two people wrote about it to know that it happened. Yeah.
Right. So since there's no recording of it, though, someone is assigned, like because Moffat is the case agent, or who would do that? Be assigned to include it in the report, for sure.
It's different. I'll give you the example. If you look at probably my report compared to Detective Kuhn's report, you might notice, similarities in there. You might notice stuff that I went into more detail on, or he went into more detail. But it depends on whether they write it or not. They could just put something as simple, I was present during a walkthrough.
Okay.
So now we're going through the standard operating procedure of how we write a report. And I get where she is trying to go with this. A real defense attorney would want to question if things were done by standard operating procedure. They would want to make sure that, standards of chain of custody, that the search warrant, they waited for the search warrant to gather evidence, that everything was documented. So I see where she's going with it, but she is so incredibly terrible because she's not a lawyer at asking these questions that it is painful, because it's like watching someone vaguely draw something on, Pictionary or a game show, and you're like, I could do it so much better. Not that I think I could do it so much better, but I wouldn't be asking these questions.
So since you became the case agent, have you read all the reports?
At one time or another, yes, I have.
So is there anyone specific that kind of ran through what happened at the walkthrough?
Your Honor, I object to asked and answered and relevance and hearsay.
Sustained as to asked and answered.
Did you write about it in your report?
I'm going to object again to relevance, hearsay, asked and answered.
Sustained as to asked and answered. He already answered that.
You mentioned that it was Detective Werther who had the body cam, is that correct?
Again, asked and answered.
So
Sustained.
did you read his report?
I have read his report, yes.
And did he mention the walkthrough and what happened?
And I'm going to object again to relevance, hearsay, and asked and answered.
To the extent that it would call for a hearsay answer, I'll sustain the objection.
You can't ask what other people said. She would have to call this particular officer herself to get his own perspective.
Detective, when you became the case agent, you were kind of aware, so you knew what had been done in the investigation, is that correct?
Yes,
And so you knew who had been interviewed, is that correct?
yes,
And you knew what had been tested or not tested at that point?
correct.
So the bat was tested for fingerprints. We learned that in the testimony, is that correct?
Correct.
And the results were inconclusive.
Correct.
And so there were no latent prints were identified. That's correct.
Correct.
And there were prints, but we just don't know whose they were. Is that accurate?
Sounds about right, yes.
Now, we learned that the bat was swabbed for DNA and sent to the lab. Is that correct?
Yes.
And was that ever tested?
No, it was not.
And why not?
When making this decision, you have to look at the probative value of that and what that would show or what a test would prove. DNA and fingerprints are not time specific. That bat was owned by Tylee, to our knowledge. It was in a household where you lived. It was in a household where Alex was. And at one point, based on the fact of when we understood the bat to have been purchased, Charles was living in the house as well. So that bat was accessible to all those people. So if at one point during that time that person touched that bat, all that I would be saying is that somebody touched that bat at some point, not during this incident.
Right.
I actually think that was a brilliant explanation, because I think that is something that, I kind of wondered. And the fact that she just asked it, it makes perfect sense that it is not time specific. To take it to a very recent, very popular case, the little hair that could from the Karen Reed trial, the fact that it was only a mitochondrial DNA, match, and that Karen Reed's car was, sometimes parked in a garage, but around, people, that there was evidence, or there was plenty of opportunity for that hair to have been there, and there was no way of proving that that hair was deposited at the time of the alleged incident. So I think that he did a great job. I know she did her snippy little, see you next Tuesday. Okay. But I think he did a great job explaining why, when given all of the parameters and all of the things that he's taking into account, a DNA test wouldn't tell him much about that particular bat.
But there was no blood found on the bat, is that correct?
Correct.
But would that be able to be told from DNA?
There was nothing that was visible that could see, like if blood dries or anything like that. There was nothing that would indicate that here's a spot we need to test for that particular, for blood.
Right, but would DNA tell if there was blood? Could they find out if there was blood on the bat from the DNA test?
Once again, blood is, you would see if it dries and crusts, then you would see that particular blood.
How stupid are you? Yes, but this is hurting my brain. I did not have enough carbs this morning for this chick. I did not have enough carbs.
DNA comes in many forms. It can come in touch, it can come in sweat, blood, but you would think the blood would be visible at that point to be able to test. And we did not see anything like that.
Okay, so if there was none of Alex's DNA on the blood, wouldn't that tell us something? I mean, on the bat at all, then wouldn't that tell us something?
If there were none of Alex's, it would just mean that Alex never touched that bat at any time.
And wouldn't it tell us that Alex was never hit in the head with that bat?
Once again, it's not specific. I can't, if there was blood on the bat, then yes, we would test for that. But there's no visible blood on the bat.
I understand that, but when you're doing an investigation, are you not trying to?
No, you don't understand, because this requires logic, it requires critical thinking, and it involves, dealing with budgets and fiduciary concerns and, general real life, issues that you obviously seem to not take any response to as a, living, breathing, organic matter who should respond to things in her general vicinity and environment, but seem to have just skipped on by, the, non-deified parts of being an adult.
Figure out
Damn,
what
woman.
happened?
Yes, and that's what we
Don't
did.
you want all the information to do that?
Yes.
And so whose responsibility would it be to request the DNA testing from the swab that was taken?
Once again, that would just show, it's not showing that it's blood. There's no blood on the bat. It was just showing that a DNA swab was taken of that particular area to be able to test later on. But there's no discoloration that would show any kind of blood.
And who in the Chandler Police Department would be requesting that DNA to be tested? Who would have to do that?
That'd be me.
It would be you.
As the new case agent, that would be me, or Detective Moffat at the beginning.
And so Detective Moffat never did that, is that correct?
Correct.
And you never did that, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So if Charles' DNA was on the bat, then wouldn't that tell us something also?
Did he?
No, he just explained. You guys had that bat for a long MFN time. So if Charles had any opportunity to be in any environment where that bat was being held or stored, then his DNA was already there. So it would tell you jack diddly crap. Oh my God, this woman is the reason that I could not deal with dumb questions in school, and I got in trouble because I could not deal with kids asking really, really dumb questions. And yes, this proves that there is such a thing as dumb questions, especially when you've been given the answer.
Touched the bat at some point?
Yeah, that he took it from Tylee, like she said in her interview.
And I'm going to check and move to
Sustained.
strike that.
The jury should disregard that last question. That information is not in evidence.
Detective, wouldn't that have answered some questions for us in your investigation?
I don't think it
No.
would have, no.
Okay. We learned that the gun in testimony,
I feel very much like Tyler Perry when he's dressed up as Medea, but I'm like, say okay one more again. I'm ready to throw down and get some grits because I've about had it with her snippy little uppity little smarmy. Okay. It's like nails on a chalkboard. I would rather she cursed me out than say okay. And I know I'm going to be stuck with her for another couple weeks.
that the gun was tested just last month, is that correct?
Correct.
And who requested that test?
I did.
And why did you request that test?
So on firearms, immediately after we have a firearm case, we have the ability to utilize a system called NIBIN. NIBIN is run through the ATF, and what NIBIN will do is we can fire a particular firearm that we have control over and obtain casings from those. We could then take the casings from the scene casings and then compare those together. We already knew that that gun fired those casings very early in the investigation, as a NIBIN report provided. However, ATF will not testify in court. So playing the balancing game of when a trial will begin and whether a trial will even happen, I do not like to make more work for a firearm analyst than I have to. So when we know that we are in and going to trial, then I will send that over to them because they were the ones that will testify to that.
Okay.
Save me, Jesus, from her.
So it wasn't
okay.
after my investigator suggested that none of the guns had been tested
No,
that you
no.
ordered that test?
I never spoke to your investigator about that either.
Okay. So, Detective, when did the Chandler Police Department take possession of the gun?
On July 11th?
And then it was tested in March, is that correct?
Correct.
Yes,
And then
Lori.
we've established through expert testimony of Detective Coons that the floorboard was not tested either, is that correct?
Correct.
And he also established that the projectile was not tested either, is that correct?
Correct.
And Detective Coons also confirmed that no tests were done on my husband's shirt, is that correct?
Correct.
And then when you became the case agent on this case, why didn't you request any of these tests?
Because I was confident that based on the medical examiner's report of an entry wound to the lower left quadrant, an exit wound to the upper left rear shoulder, and a corresponding defect, or what I would refer to as a bullet strike in the floor, if you take those 3 points and match them up, then there's no other explanation other than Charles was laying on the ground at that time.
So the medical examiner said he could not say that he was laying on the ground for sure, but you're saying that in your detective opinion, you know that for sure?
His detective opinion. Look, sir, I'm gonna tell that to Mr. Moat. Look, I need your detective opinion today, not your husband opinion. God, this woman is just, look, putting women's suffrage back at least, 50 years.
I believe so, yes.
And so were you there to witness it with your eyes?
No.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph. God. I need an emotional support stupidity absorber. That's it. My first craft, I'm going to need to crochet a stuffy to deal with the absolute stupidity of people. No, it's called physics, it's called reality, it's called Newtonian and, quantum mechanics if you want. No, basically, this is not Schrodinger shooting. God, this woman.
Detective, to your knowledge, did my brother and my daughter and myself willingly comply with everything asked of us by law enforcement on July 11th, 2019?
I can't speak to that, no.
Did we answer all the questions asked to us?
I have nothing to say you didn't.
Did we follow all directions given to us by law enforcement that day?
I'm going to object to speculation and foundation as to how this detective knows that. He's already said he wasn't at the station.
He's the case agent, Your Honor.
He can testify to what he observed for himself, so if you want to tailor your question, go ahead.
Would you say that according to every report and every detective that you've talked to and anything else, that you would say that we fully complied with law enforcement that day on July 11th, 2019?
Object to hearsay.
I'm going to sustain the objection to the form that it was asked.
So according to all the reports that have been given by everyone who was there, and you're the case agent, so you're in charge of all of these people, is that correct?
I'm not in charge of them, but I have read the reports.
And yes, Celestial Force, Lori Vallow Daybell, in her supreme, enlightened, deified fashion, decided to represent herself in both the state of Arizona versus Lori Daybell in the Charles Vallow case, which we are on day 7 of, and then we will move into the Lori Vallow Daybell versus Arizona versus Lori Vallow Daybell, Brandon Boudreaux case. Lori, she's doing something up here. She's pretending to be a lawyer. She's working my nerves is what she's doing, because she has this snippy little okay that just makes me want to run away and join the circus. It is just ugh.
So you have read the reports, and as far as you know, to your knowledge, we fully cooperated with law enforcement that day on July 11th, 2019?
You're going to object to hearsay.
I'm going to object to her being a smugly cunt. Look, I can't deal with it no more. I'm going to have to stop this if she continues. But damn her attitude. Her just, ooh, this is the tone, this is the quality, and this is the level of smugness that gets on every last one of my nerves.
And lack of personal knowledge.
Sustained.
Has it come to your knowledge that we did not comply with everything?
And I would object to the exact same thing, lack of personal knowledge and hearsay.
He can answer that question.
Can you ask that again?
Have you come to the knowledge that we did not comply that day for any reason?
I have not.
Okay. Did I turn my husband's phone over when asked?
Yes.
Did Alex turn his phone over willingly?
I am not sure when Alex, or if Alex turned his phone on. I'm not aware of that.
Okay. So is there a body cam where his phone was placed into an evidence bag? That's correct.
I do remember seeing that, yes.
And then the evidence bag is put into the front of the police car where he was taken to the Chandler Police Department. Is that correct?
I didn't see that, but I trust the fact that it was taken at that time, yes.
And so according to that body cam, it looked like he turned it over on request.
And I'm going to object to speculation.
You don't have any knowledge that he didn't. Is that correct?
I'll allow that last question.
I don't have knowledge, no.
Okay.
Lori, you're
So do
supposed
you
to
know
wait for him to rule.
who had taken possession of his phone at that point?
I don't.
Do you know who drove him to the Chandler Police Department?
Well, through this hearing, Officer Krautheim.
Oh, that's right. The one I couldn't remember how to spell. I mean,
Again, Your Honor.
Sustained, please don't testify.
You are not a YouTuber, sweetheart.
was a
You
copy of
chose a
Alex's
different
phone moved by
path.
the Chandler Police Department?
I don't know.
You don't know?
There's so much information. I don't know whether we received his call detail records or an actual copy was made. I don't know.
So you're the case agent.
Yeah, I'd have to look and see if that was the case.
So you're the case agent, and you don't know if the person who shot my husband's phone was ever.
Yeah.
Bitch, you knew who shot your husband? Like the person, like O.J. Simpson. Where is that person? Like she's on a voyage like Theodore Edgecombe to go find the person that shot her husband. Ma'am, you do not get to get smug and ask for his manager. Dear Lord. Mega Karen. She is trying to talk. Oh, good Lord. Imagine if she had a coupon at Aldi. Good Lord, just go in another aisle.
At this moment, I don't recall.
You could refresh his memory.
There's no cell of it. Is that correct? In the discovery?
I think the only thing that we have is his call detail records, which would be from his cellular provider.
So what would the typical protocol be for you to, if someone handed over their phone, wouldn't it be to do a digital download of it?
So that can be one of two ways. It could be under a search warrant to do that, or it can be under consent to do that. I do not believe I don't believe that his phone was extracted at that time.
So he would have to give consent? Is that what you're saying?
Or a search warrant, but that would have been through Detective Moffett.
So Detective Moffett would have had to get a search warrant and then he would download it?
Based on
Yes.
their conversation, whether Alex would be willing to do that or whether a search warrant
questions
was needed,
ago.
but that was Detective Moffat's call at that time.
And he decided not to do that?
I don't know what his process is or his thought process.
Well, I'm saying that he did not do that, and you're the case agent now, so you would know if that was done, correct?
You're asking me to speak for Detective Moffett, whether it was done or not?
No, I'm asking you to speak as a case agent now if you know if it was done or not.
I believe it was not.
Okay. Do you think that would be important to your investigation?
Absolutely, knowing what we know now, yes.
Okay, you're a detective, right?
Correct.
You have to look at all the angles, right?
Correct.
You don't know what happened, right? You just stated that you weren't there, right?
Correct.
So wouldn't that be
Oh my gosh, her voice is like nails on a chalkboard, and those screaming bowls that people use to center themselves in yoga. Good night. Now, this is something that he should have, readily available in his mind, either with a binder that he could look up what was done. So I'm not cutting him any slack. This should be something that, he either knows of as the case agent or can pull out, the relevant sort of information. Sometimes we've seen different lead agents, have a binder or sort of things that they can go through and say, okay, yes, this. But she's just annoying AF.
crucial information that the police department didn't bother to take?
Once
Says the
again, I
woman
don't
who
know
left
what
all
the
the guilty
conversation with
evidence.
Detective Moffett and Alex was and what his reasoning for not. Would I have taken it? Yes,
But that was not your call at the time.
correct.
And so in lieu of that, what did you do to try to obtain that information?
We got his call detail records through his company.
And so is it safe to say that it's much better to have the actual phone to do the extraction so that you can have everything that was on the phone?
Yeah, you can also obtain a lot of that stuff through other means, through iCloud records, Google records. But yeah, it is nice to have that phone.
So would you call that an oversight by Detective Moffett?
Object to speculation.
Sustained.
So was the phone then returned to Alex that day?
Yes,
How did that happen? Was it just handed to him or?
I'm not sure.
Okay. And that would have also been Detective Moffat's call.
Correct.
And we haven't heard from Detective Moffett, is that correct?
Correct.
So according to your knowledge, that when Alex was called by Chandler Police to return to the scene for the walkthrough by detectives, he did so, is that correct?
Yes, he did.
You saw him there?
Yes.
And did he answer everyone's questions while you were there, that you observed?
Yes, he did. There was very little questioning. It was just more of a positional type thing. It was, where were you?
It was more, I'm sorry, I missed that last part.
Where was he? Where was he standing during the time?
Oh, and so he kind of walked it through with you, and all four of you were there, right?
Yes.
5. And no one was asking him any questions?
Your Honor, I'm going to, again, we've already gone through this before, asked and answered, as well as verging on hearsay.
I'm going to sustain the objection. How much do you have left on your cross, do you think?
I don't know, Your Honor, a lot.
In other words, more than a couple minutes, should we take our afternoon break?
Oh, yes, we should
right.
take a break.
Yes,
Let's
take a
take our
break.
afternoon break for staff. It'll be about 15 minutes. Please remember the admonition.
All right, we're going to try to do at least get 3 hours in on this stream, but this woman is testing on the Lord's Day, and she's going to test the last little bit of Jesus in me. Seems like a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how this works out for her. Not going to guess very well. But I mean, she's a gambler.
All right, thank you. The jury is now present. You may be seated. You can continue with your cross-examination of this witness.
Periwinkle princess.
Detective Duncan, in all those text messages, we saw a lot of people. Did you interview our mother, Janice Cox?
I did not.
Did you read or watch her interview?
I have not.
Did you interview our sister, Summer Shiflett?
I did not.
Did you read or watch her interview?
No.
Did you interview our father, Barry Cox?
No.
Did you read or watch his interview?
No.
So the only source that you have for this investigation of the shooter in your case is through our brother Adam? Is that correct?
And all of the contacts mentioned through your iClouds.
Yeah, but you didn't ask anybody who was mentioned in there or who was speaking in there what they meant by any of those text messages?
Well, none of the people that you mentioned were present during this incident. So you're asking about the actual day of July 11th, if I asked them about that day, or about the text messages?
About the text messages themselves. Like, did you ask my mother what she meant in that text message when she wrote it?
No.
Did you ask my sister what she meant in those text messages?
No.
Did you ask Melanie?
Lori, I'm a forestall this question by telling you that your family looks like, apart from Adam, seems to be a collection of 10 pounds of crazy in a 2-pound sack, and don't no one want to deal with that. To use the clip that expert uses, ain't nobody got time for that. That being said, like he was going to get a straight answer from any of them. With every witness that you interview, I'm sure it has to be in the back of your mind the way that they're going to shade things, the personal stakes, the interpersonal relationships that are going to shade or possibly influence their answers. So, yeah, you could interview everyone from that incredibly ridiculous family, but you probably would not get any relevant or usable answers because of the narrative, the lens, the way that they wanted to protect Lori, that they would have answered in those interviews. So again, no, you don't need to do that. You've got plenty of digital evidence that you left behind, you crazy Muppet.
My niece, what she meant in those text messages.
No,
Did you ask me what I meant in those text messages?
I couldn't.
Okay. And through your investigation, you found out that, as you testified earlier, that Alex wouldn't text or call Adam back. Is that correct?
I'm not interpreting as far as he wouldn't do it. What I'm saying is I don't see it. So if there's a message there and there's a text, there's no indication that there was a callback or a text back.
So it looked like that he wasn't calling him or texting him back, even though he was getting calls and texts. Is that correct?
And then Adam also testified that he did not receive a call or a text back,
So
which would
the-
be consistent with the records.
So the only person in our family, in our whole family, that you got information from was the estranged brother from our family who didn't know what was going on with everybody else.
I object to the form of the question. Argumentative.
Well, it's also compound. I'll sustain the objection.
Okay, so Adam, our estranged brother, is the only one that you got information from. Is that correct?
And I object to the form of the question.
If he's estranged from Cray Cray, he's okay to sit next to me. You say he's like estranged, like he's been thrown out of Buckingham Palace, like he's Prince Harry. No. Again, he made his escape, and I would steer clear. I would go zero contact with the rest of that family. But Adam, they're your family. I can't tell you what to do. That being said, I get where she's going with this, but they would have offered nothing helpful, and they have shown a propensity through their text messages to align themselves with whatever Lori wants them to do, regardless of whether it's fraud, possibly, accessory after the fact, or just, plain, conspiring to get Charles alone with her brother.
Question.
Sustained.
So is this your normal protocol to just talk to one witness and not all the others?
No.
Why didn't you speak to any other member of my family?
A lot of members of the family have been spoken to.
But you were not privy to any of that information as a case agent?
Well, I was privy to the interviews that were conducted by other detectives.
And you just testified to me that you didn't read or watch any of those interviews. Is that correct?
I have been present during an interview or a phone call with Summer, and been present during a phone call in this process, but I have never interviewed them.
How many interviews has Summer had with the police departments?
Objection, speculation.
If you know.
He can answer if he knows.
I don't know.
More than one or two?
I don't know.
Okay, but you knew of at least one?
That Summer has had?
Correct.
Yes.
But you didn't ask her any of these questions or any of the questions about the text messages that you just talked about that were on the screen with Summer?
I said no.
Okay. So as the case agent and a detective, do you form a suspicion and then stick to it and only investigate the things that lead you to that same conclusion?
No.
That was a winner, Lori. You got him with that one. I heard it. I seen him flinch. Ow, right in the heart.
You had testified earlier about the story of Nephi, is that correct?
Yes.
Oh,
And you said
God,
that you
no, not
researched it.
again.
Is that correct? What research did you do?
Well, the very basic research. I Googled who is Nephi. What does Nephi stand for? I've also, through this process over the last 4 or 5 years, have asked other members of the church just a simple question: tell me about Nephi. And every single person I talk to tells me that same story that was told by Adam.
So are you aware that there's 15 books in the Book of Mormon?
I'm not.
Are you aware that 4 of those books are books of Nephi?
I'm not.
That there's Nephi 1, 1st Nephi, 2nd Nephi, 3rd Nephi, 4th Nephi?
No, I'm not.
Okay. That
Harry Potter and the Curse of Nephi. Oh God, not this again.
there's many stories of Nephi. Is that correct? Or you don't know?
I don't know.
So the very first story is the story that,
I'm going to object to testifying.
It sounds like that's the way it was going. So please just ask questions.
so you did not read the Book of Mormon?
No.
You did not read 1st Nephi?
No.
You just asked people. That was your research?
I asked members of that particular church, and I also did an internet search. Yes.
So you did an internet search and it gave you all the stories of Nephi?
That's
No, he didn't say that. Oh my gosh. Dear Lord, that's like, yes, everyone knows that knows joy to the world, but only realize when in terror the church choir continues to play on Christmas Eve, service that, joy to the world has like five verses. No one knows that. This is, oh God, why are you, Lori? Why are you so incredibly horrible?
the story that came up.
So how long did you do that research for?
5 minutes.
I couldn't tell you.
350.
So in your research, did you discover that there's about 25 stories of Nephi in that Book of Mormon?
Oh, good
I
Lord.
didn't see that, no.
And that there's 4 different prophets that are called Nephi in the Book of Mormon?
I'm going to object as to testifying, and the detective has already indicated, so asked and answered.
I'll overrule the objection. He can ask if he knows that or not.
What was the question? Sorry.
I'm sorry, I can't remember. Can the court reporter? tell
There's
me?
4 different people referred to as Nephi.
Yeah, 4 different prophets in the Book of Mormon that are Nephi. Are you aware of that?
No.
Okay. So isn't it true that you really have no idea what I was referring to when I referenced Nephi in my text message?
I can only go off of what I see. I can't tell you what you're thinking or what you're trying to relay there. But based on my knowledge and based on talking to people about who is Nephi, that is a story that came up consistently.
You relayed to the jury that it was in order to kill. You relayed to the jury.
I said that the story was the same story and similar to Adam told.
Okay, and you said it earlier that was in order to kill. That I referenced Nephi. I will be like Nephi and you will be like Nephi. To the jury here today.
Oh my goodness. Ma'am, you're annoying. No, again, apparently doing again the Google search just like this detective did, Nephi was asked to kill a bad king named Laban. I don't know if he was the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th Nephi. Not quite sure which in the line of Nephis he was, but that's basically the kind of very shortened, abbreviated version that Adam gave, and what seemed to ring true. I don't know why we're having Bible study in court other than to point out the fact that I skipped church to stream, which is probably going to get me sent straight to Hades. But it was raining this morning, and I don't go outside in the rain.
Ask a question. That's a statement, not a question.
Do you have knowledge that my text message meant that at all?
No.
Are you aware through all of your investigation of this case that my brother was a stand-up comedian, Alex?
I had heard that, yes.
And that everything is a joke to Alex?
I mean, not as stand-up comedy. I didn't really laugh. I have seen the one where he tries to play off attacking it's Joe Ryan as a felony, but and I'm a little like, I can find anything funny from South Park to just about anything, but I didn't think he was that funny. I mean, comedy is subjective, but yeah, it didn't do anything for me.
I can't speak for that.
So when you're interpreting all these text messages and making all these assumptions, half of them could be jokes and you would not know that?
Objection, speculation.
Sustained.
Which brings me to my point. Elon, sweetheart, I know you are really busy with Neuralink and either being best friends or worst enemies with our current political leaders. So I understand you're super busy, but could you possibly code a sarcasm text? It can be Comic Sans or even italicized, but if we could have a sarcasm text, that would be awesome. That way, us smartasses don't have to put this is or is not a joke, in our text to our significant others.
Were you speculating when you read my text messages?
I think I'm just reading your text messages. I don't think I was drawing any.
He was in speculation station. He took a little detour off the case. He pulled to speculation station. This woman, she's broken me. I've started singing. I can't.
Inference from them. I was just simply reading them.
Well, today you were explaining them to the jury. Is that true?
Those were read. There was no explanation as to what it meant.
Jesus Christ, she is fighting with him like they have been married for 15 years. And he forgot something at Walmart. She's like, see, this is how I know my mama told me I shouldn't marry you. You didn't even remember the grits. And he's like, you didn't put it on the list. Every week I buy grits. And I don't even put them on the list because I buy them just for you. She is, again, how have 5 men wanted to marry this heifer? I'll pray for them. I'll pray for men, because y'all, there are Loris out there. Whew.
As the case agent, what is your communication with the other investigators in this case?
What do you mean by other investigators?
So who is on your team? Who is working for you on this case right now?
I'm the only person working on the case right now. Back in when we were investigating it would have been myself and Detective Coons. And then periodically we'd have Detective Werther do some work for us if we needed it.
And then do you guys communicate through emails or calls or text messages, or how does that work?
Well, unfortunately, we're cramped in a small little area, so we have the ability to just talk to each other.
So no reports are really made of that communication. You're just talking?
Correct.
Kind of like you, Lori, with the call me in 5 minutes. Call me.
And being a
Call me.
detective, is your job basically to be an investigator and search out facts concerning what happened?
Yes,
Do you feel like you've done that in this case?
I do.
So by not testing any of those things, you feel like you've done everything you could possibly do to tell the jury and to tell us what happened that day on July 11th, even though you weren't present?
Correct.
You're confident in that?
I mean, Lori, I'm not going to say I'm the brightest, bulb in the, that GE makes, but I seem to have been able to put A, B, C together to equal loin fire and motive for murder, not to mention collusion and an aggressive push by a lot of your family to both track movements kind of in a military fashion of Zach, Adam, and, Charles on the day in question and prior to that, along with coordinated efforts to deceive and make sure that people were unavailable to either aid Charles or get in the way of your issues, then you telling Melanie that she can fly out that evening. So, I mean, I'm not a mathologist, but that kind of all equals guilty to me.
I'm confident.
Did you have to meet with Detective Moffett to review the case when you made this transfer?
No.
So he didn't give you any heads up on what was happening?
Well, before he left, he just dropped the case notebook on my desk and then went on his way. We have
So-
had conversations before then and since, but nothing in detail.
So you didn't say what's been tested or what hasn't been tested?
No, that's for me to go back through and look at.
Through reports?
Correct.
Okay. So did you think it was important to maybe luminol the bat?
Once again, there was no visual blood present on the bat, and we decided that we were not going to do that particular process.
So can't blood be invisible and still be on the bat if you luminol it?
I guess if it's cleaned off, it would still maybe show some proteins, but that was something we decided not to do. We fingerprinted it to show, because there was indication that Charles had grabbed it from Tylee. So we did our best evidence to try to grab that location where it would have been grabbed, but that's what we did.
Wouldn't that be important to your investigation?
Objection as to wouldn't what?
Yeah, please.
Wouldn't luminoling the bat be important to this investigation, this particular investigation?
I don't believe it would.
What about luminoling the gun? Was that done?
Once again, there's no
What?
visible, and we were under the impression that it happened 5 minutes before we got there, and there's no,
It's not a whodunit. It was it's done and come here. One day I would like to spend an hour in Lori's reality. I'm pretty sure I'd get vertigo, and I don't know if I have enough gummies to get there, but holy God, I bet the colors are incredibly vibrant.
visible presence of blood
The
on the bat.
clown music.
Well, you went around the whole entire house looking for blood, is that correct?
Yes,
And you had the gun in your possession,
yes.
and you're in a police station.
I was at your house.
I'm saying you have access as the case agent to have any of these things tested, is that not right?
Yes,
So why didn't you test them?
because I did not think that luminol was needed to be tested because there was no visual blood.
So wouldn't you like to know that for sure?
I guess we make choices and we make decisions through this process based on the facts that we have and the facts that are presented to us. And based on the facts presented to us and what we saw and what we had, I did not feel that was necessary.
You have charged me with a crime, is that correct?
I have not, no.
You have helped them charge me with a crime, is that correct? The state of Arizona?
I conducted an
Collaborator with the state. This man collaborated with the entire state to crimate me, charge me with a felony and everything. How dare him? How effing dare them? What the hell? Why? Oh, good Lord. All right. I promised Mr. Mo I wouldn't spend all day streaming, so I'm going to get off of here because I don't know if I can handle another, oh, good Lord. Oh, well, she's almost done. But this will give us some to watch tomorrow and get into day 8. Then we have, I believe day 8 is, let me look at it. I think it was just the case conference, so we won't actually do a lot of day 8, but then day 9 will be the closing arguments and verdict watch, and then we'll watch verdict probably tomorrow, and then set up for the Brandon Boudreaux stream. I didn't see anyone particularly streaming right now. It does look like there's some storm chasers coming up this afternoon if you're into that. I doubt that anyone else is going to be watching World War II in color documentaries like I do to unwind. But YouTube has a good selection of those as well, so you are free to go anywhere in the interwebs that you want. Thank you for spending your time with me on the Petty Express. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, but have a sassy mouth and carry a can of bitch fire, because otherwise this bitch is going to tell us about Nephi, numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and Ringo, the lesser known book of Nephi. Bye, you guys.